Have your sports curiosity cured.
That might all be about to change now. Berger to Nusa. Support from Muller-Wolfer. It's taken him less than half an hour to score his first ever World Cup goal.
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
Springer hits it a long way to the left, and it's gone! Career home run number 300 for George Springer. And a big smile on his face as he is circling the bases. It is 6-1.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
Messi. Gonzalez. Back to Messi. Messi! His first look. It's a Richard Singer. One of one. Never to be replicated. Lionel Messi stands alone in Argentine lore and now tied with Miroslav Klose the most goals in the World Cup.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Sol 689, Wednesday, June the 17th. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Lionel Messi with a game for the ages, a hat trick in Argentina's 3-0 win over Algeria last night. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 on your AM radio dial, on your morning drive into work, or wherever you're heading out on a hump day. Really appreciate you could spend some time with us here on Sports 1440 AM. You can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. Drop us a like, a subscription. We would really appreciate that. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, and the old Twitch. As always, we're streaming on iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, even on sports1440.ca. And if you miss any part of the show, you can catch up and find it where all the podcasts hang out, on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon. Please subscribe. It's free. Select the auto download, and you will never miss a second of any show. Yeah, so glad you're with us on a Wednesday where we got a lot of rain last night in the City of Champions. It's looking a little gray, a little cloudy for the next couple of days. Hopefully the weekend clears up. Man, it would be great to have some decent weather finally for a football game at Commonwealth Stadium as the Double E open up their home portion of the schedule Saturday afternoon against the Montreal Alouettes. Before we get to the World Cup of Soccer, some breaking news from Toronto by Elliot Friedman from Rogers Sportsnet. According to Friedman, and according to him reporting multiple sources, the Maple Leafs are closing in on Jim Hiller as their new head coach. He's been in Toronto before, obviously, because he was an assistant coach under Mike Babcock there for about 4 years. And so he knows a lot of the players there in the sense of the time that he spent with, the core group of guys in Austin Matthews and Willie Nylander, Riley, all these guys. So, there's that familiarity there. And according to Elliot Friedman, that he has a little bit of a history with general manager John Chayka. He was interviewed for the Arizona Coyotes assistant job years ago. The Islanders outbid him for Hiller's services, and he went to Long Island instead. So when you think about the coaching, the amount of coaches that were interviewed for this job in Toronto, according to reports, dozens, from guys like Dallas Eakins to Joe Pavelski even, and now Hiller. More on this story to develop as it develops from Elliot Friedman. But from Elliot Friedman, it appears that Jim Hiller is the new head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that leaves one head coaching position open. And if you are at all in the belief that somehow, some way, Bruce Cassidy is still in the conversation, will be allowed at some point to speak to teams. Well, there's only one team left, and we all know which team that is. We'll have more on that as the morning progresses, but expect Jim Hiller to be named head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Well, World Cup soccer last night, as we said, Argentina shuts out Algeria 3-0 with a clean sheet. Lionel Messi had the hat trick. He probably could have had 5 or 6 goals in this one. So the 3 goals gives him 16 in World Cup history. Unbelievable that he has achieved that mark and has the opportunity here as the tournament progresses to move ahead all time against Miroslav Klose from Germany to take over the all-time lead. So he's tied with Klose here for the all-time lead. But it's funny how the night went. I sort of started to write a little notes, and I was watching a little bit of soccer. And then when I looked at Kylian Mbappe, he scores and he passes Messi and Pele, the great Pele, with 14 goals. So he's looking like he's like a couple goals off the all-time lead in Klose. And then Messi comes along and pumps in 3. So he's tied all time, 16 goals. By the way, our text line is always open, 833-401-1440. Yesterday, the games were, for the first time, they sort of went as scripted. You know, we didn't have any draws that shouldn't have been draws, like, you know, Saudi Arabia and Uruguay and all that stuff. France beat Senegal, no problem, 3-1. Norway, the big Dukes, sleeper pick to win it all. No problem with Iraq, 4-1. As mentioned, Argentina shuts out Algeria, 3-0. And then the late game, Austria over Jordan by a score of 3-1. So everything sort of to script here. But, you know, we've seen so many storylines with, you know, Ivory Coast and, you know, the draw with Spain. So we'll see how things progress here. But one thing can be sure, that we've only been into the World Cup less than a week. And we've had excitement, we've had drama, we've had storylines. It's been very exciting to see. Toronto Blue Jays won last night, 6-1 over the Boston Red Sox. Davis Schnieder gets called up and has a big game. He always hits well in Boston for some reason. Has the home run and a double. Really hit the ball well. He was the catalyst for the Blue Jays offense last night. There's no denying that. George Springer with a late home run with his 300th career home run, and Dylan Cease with a very good game on the hill. Not, you know what? He limited. He got out of trouble. How's that sound? Because he allowed base runners. He had walks. His pitch count was through the roof. He was lucky to get through 5 innings because his pitch count was well over 100, and he was close to getting the hook, but he gets through 5 innings, gets the W. Jays win 6-1. They'll do it again tonight, 4:45 at Fenway Park. It'll be the Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox, Max Scherzer on the hill for the Red Sox. The last score I had for the Riverhawks was 5-4 Wenatchee in the 9th inning, and I don't know if they didn't update it on the website this morning. But that was, honestly, I looked at it this morning. Did you look at the same thing, Duke? Yeah. 5-4 was the last score. It said in the 9th inning. Not sure. Maybe there was a delay or something, but that's the last score that we had. Riverhawks out in Wenatchee, 5-4, the final. Great news for the Double E. The Edmonton Elks are going to be honoring Dwayne Mandrusiak this Saturday for the home opener. And this is just super that the organization is doing this, because this was unjustifiable what the organization did under a previous regime to not let Dwayne, you know, to turf him in his 50th season going into it. So he's there with the organization for 49 years. And for some reason, back in 2020, the dummies that were running this team from the board of governors and the board of directors, the board of directors and management in Brock Sunderland and whoever else was running the team back then, because it was a debacle. And they decided, no, sorry, Dwayne, after 49 years, you're gone. So stupid. That was the lowest point probably of the franchise that I can remember in the last how many years. But the Thompson family, Chris Morris, Ed Hervey, they're all doing it right again. They're bringing back Dwayne. Well, Dwayne was back last year. He came back as like an ambassador and did some team history stuff and all that. He went on the wall of not the wall of honor, but he went on the builder's wall. So that was in 2024. They're slowly, they're making totally a wrong right here. The organization was so inept for this decision 6 years ago or whatever it was, and now they're making a wrong right. So after 49 years, now he's going to be able to celebrate his 50th year with the organization on Saturday afternoon. It's a remarkable achievement. And I texted Dwayne yesterday, and he got back right when I crawled into the old fart sack because I said, "You want to come on, big guy, at 8:40?" And he goes, "Yep." So Dwayne Mandrusic will be on with us at 8:40 today, just sort of a late add to the lineup. Let's welcome in the Duke of Delburne at 7:11 in the morning. Good morning, Duke. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well, Kevin.
Really?
It was another exciting afternoon of some footy across the World Cup. I kind of took in, listen, I'm not watching it in trance most of the time, and because starting at 1 o'clock, that's when I'm still a little bit in studio, catch the end of for the France game when I get home, and then watching the Blue Jays simultaneously along with the remainder of the efforts. And it right hand up, did not catch any of the late one of
was it 9:45 or 10?
10 o'clock with a scheduled kickoff time, Austria over Jordan 3-1. But the two middle games, and as you kind of let off the top, they finally kind of follow the script that we expected after a few pretty good surprises in the first handful of days. And every favorite team, and they were heavy favorites, win going away. So
you did a little sprinkle action, eh, Duke?
Yeah, well, we talked about it yesterday after a day of 4 draws on Monday. So let's go no draws. So I just picked the 4 winners and I bet all the 4 favorites, parlay them together, and it was far from a lucrative return.
Wins a win, Duke.
It's nice to see one go through the hoop, as they say sometimes.
Yeah, wins a win, Duke.
So that was great. And then the Jays kind of kick off a set in Boston with a positive twist. Couldn't really do much else with the rain looming all afternoon, and then finally starting to come down and some more thunder rolling
again later.
Yeah, it kind of let off for a bit and then returned. So I enjoy the late afternoon, evening rains. I understand there's people trying to get stuff done after work, whether it be out in the yard or maybe they got slow pitch games and stuff, but it's just kind of peaceful. I like, and even sometimes I'll just go sit on the deck if it's not coming down too hard underneath the overhang, so I'm not getting soaked, and just enjoy the rain.
Absolutely.
Calming, peaceful.
Text 833-401-1440. Twin Dad Matt says the old fart sack. Yeah, classic. You betcha, baby. Cam says, can you explain why the CBC is not showing NHL games anymore? You know what, Cam? We're going to do a deeper dive into this without Eddie Steele at around 7:40. We'll talk about that and talk about maybe some of the talent that has been on Hockey Night in Canada over the years. In case you missed it, it's a done deal. You won't see NHL hockey on CBC anymore. Rogers Sportsnet will be your lone provider when it comes to cable, I guess it is, in Canada. They're farming out some games to TVA, to Prime, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll talk about that at 7:40. Also, maybe, we'll throw a little nugget out to our listeners right now. Who were some of your favorite broadcasters over the years on Hockey Night in Canada? And this has been an institution for 70 years. You go back to the old days and Foster Hewitt, and then into Danny Gallivan, Bob Cole, all these guys, Chris Cuthbert. It is never ending. The list is long. The list is very, rich in talent for the broadcasters that have, graced our airwaves. So who were some of your favorites over the years on Hockey Night in Canada? Get them into 833-401-1440. Coming up on the big program, we're going to talk a little baseball from last night's game in Boston with Chris Cotillo from Mass Live, covers the Red Sox and Fenway Rundown podcast. Now, this is a team right now that is floundering. They make the managerial change, firing Joey Cora. It hasn't worked out. And maybe they have to think about what direction they're heading to now. But Chris Cotillo from Mass Live will check in right after the break. We got Mark Spector in his usual 8 o'clock time slot. Looking forward to Keith Stewart once again. Read the Line. Every major tournament that we do, Keith Stewart from Read the Line is there. He's at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills. This is it has to be the toughest U.S. Open course in the history of the Open. This is the 6th time that it's been at Shinnecock Hills. If you can find another course that's harder, please let me know. Don't know. As mentioned, Dwayne Mandrusiak at 8:40. Our co-host on Wednesdays, David Schlemko, will check in at 9 bells. We got Dave Pagnotta from the 4th period. We'll discuss what's going around the NHL. Obviously, big news out of Toronto, and Dave will chime in on Jim Hiller being the next head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then Jordan Hall from NBCS covers the Philadelphia Flyers. Big trade between the Flyers and Leafs yesterday. And what direction are the Flyers at? Because, they made the playoffs. A lot of people didn't expect them to make the playoffs this last year. Are they a team that's an up-and-comer? Are they on the rise? What are they going to do with Dan Vladar? What's the situation in Philly with Jordan Hall coming up at 7:16? When we come back, Chris Cotillo, Mass Live, covers the Boston Red Sox and the Fenway Rundown podcast on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, and Instagram and Twitch.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. Hire Good provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Greger for a first-time discount. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Mr. Rooter buries evidence in the desert.
I didn't mean to do it. I was forced into it. Yeah, forced. But now, no one will ever know. You've done well, Mr. Rooter. You did something awful, but you've covered your tracks. It's done. The last transcript that shows I did a semester of Christian school.
Uncover evidence of the proudest plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, active lane management, a Park View rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly. Guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged, and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to RobertsonBodyWorks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
The world's biggest soccer tournament is here. When the match is on, you call the shots. Whether it's a parlay after working all day or a straight bet and straight to bed, Betway has what it takes for you to bet the Edmonton way. So when it's your turn to play the Edmonton way with Betway. Play responsibly. Alberta only. 18+.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Edmonton Elks. The Elks home opener, June 20th. It's going to be big. Lock in your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 7:21 in Edmonton, and time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express packages are here. They've got the 20-inch black aluminum wheels, the Mopar side steps, body color bumpers, the grille, sport performance hood, much, much more. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com as we welcome in Chris Cotillo from Mass Live and the Fenway Rundown podcast. Good morning, Chris. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Of course, Kevin. Happy to do it.
So the Boston Red Sox right now, Chris, what's going on with this team where we haven't seen this kind of play for a long, long time? Only the second team since 1967, Chris, with fewer than 30 wins in 70 games. What's wrong with this ball club?
They can't hit. And I think put pretty basically there. You saw it last night against Toronto, where they were 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position, left 12 on base. That's kind of been how they have performed in clutch situations all season long. Other than Wilson Contreras, who had a bad game last night, 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, this team has, other than that, he's been great. Other than him, they haven't had many guys that have been able to be, consistent producers in the lineup. Willie Abreu's been okay. Cedar Rafaela's had a pretty good year, but, Roman Anthony's been out since the early part of May. Trevor Story's been out since right around the same time. Marcelo Meyer has not hit. Carlos Narvaez has not hit. Jaron Duran has struggled. So it's just been a very, very poor offense. They've pitched well. They've generally lost a lot of close games, but the offense has been the consistent story for 2 months and 2 weeks now, and that is even with them completely overhauling the coaching staff, including the hitting coaches and firing Pete Fatsi along with Alex Cora.
Yeah. Did you see a little bit of a change of managerial bump when Chad Tracy took over from Cora, or did it just last a couple of games a week or whatever?
Yeah, like 2 games. They were in Toronto and they got throttled in the final 2 games of that series. Brian Bayo pitched a finale and they were blown out. So it lasted maybe a day and a half, 1 in Baltimore, 1 in Toronto, and then they came home. The struggles at home have been, very telling. They beat the Rangers 2 of 3 this weekend. That's the second series they've won at Fenway all year. Talk about a place where you need to have home field advantage, and they haven't, mostly because their offense doesn't play to the ballpark. So, Tracy, I think, has done an okay job in terms of just trying to rearrange the deck chairs in a way. He's had guys that have come up from AAA and have had pretty big roles, and he's been able to ride that hot hand for a little bit, whether it be Mickey Gasper, Nick Sogard, or some of these 4A type guys. But at the end of the day, the roster is the roster, and I just don't see the offense, unless Roman Anthony magically gets better and is an all-star, it plays like an all-star, and Story comes back and plays way better than he was when he was first, struggling before getting hurt. I just don't see it turning around offensively, and that's a tough place to be when your pitching staff has been really, really good. Totally, who went last night's been excellent. Ranger Suarez, Sonny Gray, Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Whitlock. There's been a lot of really standout performers on the pitching staff. It just ultimately hasn't mattered because, there's been 40 games in which they haven't scored more than 3 runs.
What are we looking here, Chris, for some guys returning from the IL, especially Garrett Crochet?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a much longer absence for those guys than you would have imagined. Garrett Crochet went on the IL on April 29th, and people thought it was going to be a 2-week shutdown as he got his shoulder right. He took a little longer than anticipated to get that shoulder back strengthened. Then when he did, he strained his lat. So he's down from throwing right now. He does not expect to be back before the All-Star break. Roman Anthony, who had so much hype heading into the year after a really good rookie campaign and also, the WBC where he was on the all-tournament team, played really well at the highest level. He's got this mysterious kind of weird hand injury where he's got a torn ligament in the finger that people don't normally see. That was supposed to be a day-to-day thing. And again, that was on May 4th, May 5th when that happened. And he just still can't grip a bat. And until he can do that, until he can hit off velocity, he's not going to be in the lineup. And that's a huge loss. So both of those guys kind of stuck in the mud in terms of these were supposed to be short-term things that have turned out to be long-term. You have other guys like Story, who's going to be out probably till late July or August after sports hernia surgery. Some other guys who are closer, Patrick Sandoval, Romy Gonzalez. But honestly, those injuries are big. Crochet and Anthony, especially, probably the two most important players on the team. But this team wasn't playing when those guys wasn't winning when those guys were healthy either. So it's kind of more of an icing on the cake, injury to insult type of thing. But it's not the reason that they're in the predicament they're in.
Mm-hmm. Chris Cotillo from Mass Live Fenway Rundown Podcast, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. How much heat, Craig, is Craig Breslow taken here in the last little bit? Some of the deals he's made and things that have happened within this organization.
Yeah, I mean, an immense amount. It's kind of the daily dominant story here is he going to be fired and when? Right now, they're in a kind of tenuous spot because the trade deadline is 6 weeks away, as everybody knows. Would you like a guy to take the trade deadline and have those responsibilities only to be fired in September? That's something the Red Sox have actually done 3 times in the last 15 years. Had a guy do the deadline and then be gone, and Ben Charrington and then Dave Dombrowski in 19, Chaim Bloom in 2023. Maybe history repeats itself there. With Breslow, it's complicated because he's done some really, really good things and had really, really high highs. The pitching pipeline was an issue in this organization for a long time. They've had Tolle and Early and some of these other guys develop and look like the real deal. Also, the offseason moves he made, the big ones, Wilson Contreras, might be one of the best right-handed bats of baseball this year. As I said, Gray and Suarez, his 2 big pitching additions, were good. Last year, acquiring Crochet, signing Bregman, signing Aroldis Chapman. All those moves, the big ones work, but some of the misses are really bad. Caleb Durbin for Kyle Harrison looks like a miss to this point. Yeah. The big ones in terms of trading Chris Sale for Vaughn Grissom. Sale had that late career renaissance. Grissom never materialized here. And then, the Devers trade, they got 4 guys back and they ended up, flipping 2 of them in Harrison and Tibbs. And a year later, you have basically nothing to show for Devers and really haven't reallocated that money in the way they promised. So it has been, I think, just one of those, there's a lot on the resume there because he's made a lot of bold moves. I think he fired Alex Cora to try to get ahead of Alex Cora, backstabbing him to ownership. It might have bought Craig Breslow an extra couple months, but I don't think anybody here views him as being the GM or CBO a year from now. It just kind of comes down to, will he have the deadline or not? And where does ownership stand on all this? And that's always a mystery because ownership doesn't speak publicly.
Chris Cotillo with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Christian Campbell, did they rush him? What's your take on where he's at still a very young stage of his career?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the Red Sox thought that the athleticism was going to take over for Christian Campbell and allow him to become a major leaguer maybe a little earlier than he would have in a perfect world. The goal was just to let the bat play and let the bat play at second base, and maybe the defense, there'd be ups and downs. But what they found is after a really good month, after he made the opening day roster and signed the extension last year, that the struggles in the field and the struggles in the box were hand in hand. And that's never good with a young player who's taking a bad at bat into the field and making an error or vice versa. And so it's just been for really, he get sent down to AAA a year ago this week. It's just been constant tinkering positionally, defensively with the swing. And he's a guy that, still 23, 24 years old. They obviously have under control for a while, so they're not giving up. But it has been a big disappointment. And, I think in different ways, the big 3 prospects they had, and Meyer, Anthony, and Campbell, all 3 have been big disappointments, this year, for a couple of them dating back to last year too. But, the Campbell thing is fascinating because he doesn't really fit the roster as a guy who's just playing outfield. They have too many of those, and he's not pushing the envelope with his AAA performance either. So, definitely a guy in purgatory, but again, still very early in his career, and he's not 30, he's not 28, he's like 23, 24, and there's time.
Same with Roman Anthony, who you just mentioned, and such high hopes, and there's flashes that you see what can be, but how does he get it to that next level where that consistency will be there once he gets back to the lineup?
I mean, this is a guy that everything was going perfectly. He had, something like a 900 OPS over a 2.5 month stretch before he got hurt Labor Day weekend last year, and then missed September, missed a 3-day game playoff run, And that didn't stop expectations from being super high. You know, they signed him to the extension, obviously. They built the team around him. He was going to lead off and play left/DH every day. Came into spring training with those expectations. And then the WBC, they kind of went on a rocket ship, you know, homers here and there, holding his own on a team with the Harpers and Schwarbers of the world and looking like the real deal at 21 years old. And then, you know, the reality hit and he kind of struggled in April and then had this weird injury happen. So I think, you know, this is in huge part the Red Sox are to blame for this because they made it so a kid who should be in college was the face of their franchise on a team that didn't have many other superstars, at least offensively. You know, Bregman walked, Story came back. Those are a couple good veterans. But, you know, Ken Rosenthal said this from the beginning. He deserves credit. The Red Sox were building their team around Roman Anthony becoming David Ortiz overnight. And I think it's a really, really interesting and accurate way of looking at it. And not really fair to somebody who, again, you know, just turned 22 earlier this spring. And we've seen time and time again, it's just how it goes in the majors. You have a good month as a hitter. When you first come up, pitchers adjust. They have more video. They know the weaknesses, and it's all about adjusting back. And right about when he was needing to adjust back, he got hurt. So fans, I think, are frustrated by the Anthony experience so far this year. I feel bad for him just because this injury is so weird and the expectations were so high. But again, another super young guy will be here for a while, still has immense potential and talent.
What is it, like a ring finger or something, Chris? What is it?
Yeah, it's a sprained or torn, depending on who you ask. Those are the same thing. Ligament at the base of his ring finger. It just happened on a random swing in Detroit. At the beginning, they were like, okay, well, just give that a couple days to heal. The MRIs were clean. 6 weeks later, he can throw, he can do everything, but when he swings a bat and he does that motion of gripping, it hurts too much to hold the bat. And it's not something that can be fixed via surgery because it's such a small area. So they just need to let it cool down and then have him hit. But the swinging, he is feeling discomfort swinging without making contact. So you can imagine that the pain would be pretty severe if he were to make contact with a baseball, and especially one traveling 95 plus miles an hour. They just really don't have a choice other than to wait. And they've already been waiting a while. So it's just an unfortunate sequence.
Okay. It's almost like the stupid little hamate bone that all these guys have. Yeah. It's just a tiny little fracture in there, but you just can't swing the bat. Chris Cotilla with us from Mass Life Fenway Rundown podcast. With Garrett Crochet being out, Chris, how impressed have you been with Sonny Gray to kind of basically anchor this starting rotation?
Yeah, I mean, really, there's been four of them that have, you know, Sonny Gray, the oldest of them, but Ranger Suarez has generally been pretty good since coming over on that 5-year deal. Connolly early struggled on Sunday night against Texas and has been a little, rough in June, but had, an ERA in the 2s until then. Peyton Tolley, a little uneven last night, but has been excellent too. So I think you have to look at, those four guys have put together probably, one of the best quartets in baseball, and that's with Crochet out, with Brian Bayo struggling so bad that he was at AAA. He was their number 2 starter by the end of last year in the playoffs. So, the other guys deserve a lot of credit, and they've built pitching depth. You'll see that again tonight. For Jays fans, they have Jake Bennett making his 4th major league start, another pitching prospect who is not, who has been able to hold his own so far in the big leagues. So. That's the part that they've been able to get right. Again, it's just all those performances are going to waste because, they're not hitting. I mean, just look at what Tolley did last night. He gave up 2 homers. It is what it is. The pitch count got up there, but he didn't pitch badly. He still takes the loss because the Red Sox, have Dylan Cease on the ropes all night and can't get a run across.
Well, even last night, I think Nance, I thought he was going to give up a big number. And if not for Varland to come in and kind of save his bacon there in the bottom of the 8th, it could have been a different game. I think the score wasn't indicative of the game at all last night. 6-1 the final. One last one for you, Chris. What's the reaction been within Red Sox Nation here with a team that, again, as you say, has trouble, hitting the ball? The offense isn't there, but the pitching is there. What's the feeling? I mean, hey, Sweet Caroline sounded fine last night, but other than that, I wasn't sure what else I saw there in Boston.
Well, we have so many Scots here right now for the World Cup that it's tough to I mean, Sunday night was like a FIFA atmosphere over there, and last night a little bit too. So they're packing the ballpark. Thank you, Scotland, for keeping Fenway alive, I guess. But I would just say from a fan perspective, people are extremely angry. They're extremely disappointed. And they're getting to the point where they're just extremely, bored because this is the same game every night. It's like the runners in scoring position struggles, and a team that can't score is not only frustrating because you want your team to win if you're a Red Sox fan, it's also impossibly boring to watch. And I think we've hit that point of the season where there's no savior coming, anytime soon in the lineup. And so it's going to continue to be the same stuff they've seen all year long. Breslow's Q rating is very low. People have turned against certain players. It's Boston. That's bound to happen. But it's an ugly scene, and it's not early anymore. It's June 17th. This team kind of is what it is. I think the focus now turns to the trade deadline, who stays, who goes, and then Breslow's future from there.
Who's number one? I mean, is Chappie out of the pen? Is he on his way out?
Yeah. I mean, I think Chapman, Gray as a rental, and Wilson Contreras are the three guys to watch. But, there's a case to keep Contreras. He's got 2 years of control left. But also there's a case to move him because he could be one of the best bats that moves at this deadline. So a lot to consider for Breslow or ownership or whoever's making these calls. But we take it day to day.
Absolutely. Hey, Chris, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy tonight's tilt, Bennett versus Scherzer. And then we got a good one tomorrow with Trey Savage and Sonny Gray. Thanks for coming on. Enjoy this series and the rest of the season. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
That's Chris Cotillo, Mass Live Fenway Rundown Podcast. Our game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. The Ram 2026 2500 Black Express packages are there. The Red Sox 29-41. It's been since 67 since they've had this kind of poor play with 29 wins. So fewer than 30 wins after 70 games. It's only happened once in whatever it is, a long, long time. So they are 14 and a half games back of the New York Yankees in the American League East. The good news is if there is an opportunity, you think you can get hot and get on a bit of a run, you're still in the wild card battle. You got to jump over a lot of teams. But, as you said, the starting pitching, and that's with Garrett Crochet being out. The starting pitching has been pretty damn good. I mean, Sonny Gray's been good. Ranger Suarez has been pretty good. Kennelly Early, same thing. We saw Peyton Tolley last night, and, I think, besides Schnieder, really, and Jimenez hit the home run too, but, I mean, he kept the Blue Jays in check. I mean, Vladimir Guerrero, once again, the big offer. Jake Bennett's another young arm. So we'll see exactly how things shake down with the Boston Red Sox. Text 833-401-1440. Get him in. We'll get him on. The question to you was earlier, who were your favorite on-air talent for Hockey Night in Canada? Obviously, no more HNIC. Who was your favorite play-by-play guy? Who were some of your hosts? What about your analysts? They had rinkside reporter Scott Oak for many, many years. So send them our way, 833-401-1440. Lots coming in already. And, the usual suspects in Bob Cole and Danny Gallivan. We'll try to do a couple impressions, too, when we come back. 833-401-1440. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Want home ice advantage for your window coverings? Novo Blinds provides factory direct pricing and the fastest turnaround in the city for homeowners, builders, and commercial projects. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
The best way to experience Elks football is being there when it happens. From single game to flex packs, group tickets, and family packs. Your seats, your way. Ticket packs available now at goelks.com/tickets. Edmonton Elks. Our city, our year.
Did you know there are actually 3 seasons we experience in June? Spring, summer, and construction season. And while roads may be narrowed and detours are everywhere, GS construction crews are on site every day doing the work because the city doesn't stop, and neither do we. As we build and upgrade infrastructure, life continues around us. That's why we never lose sight of what matters most, making sure everyone, including our team, returns home safely at the end of the day. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today. The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk. And it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
The big hits. The big kicks. Catch all the action at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in a house with tons of big screens. And Selly's menu. Something for everyone. Plus game day food and drink features. So bring your friends, cheer loud and proud, and join the fun at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Wendy's 99-cent Frosty is back, and Frosty farmers couldn't be happier. Made with Canadian dairy, they grow up cool, creamy, and mighty thick. It's farm to Frosty. Get a small 99-cent Frosty until August 2nd at participating Wendy's. Taxes extra.
Sports 1440. All sports, all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 7:43 in Edmonton. We'll get to Cam Tate and Cam and Eggs in a moment here. Text 833-401-1440. Happy says, morning, KK. The Leafs hire Jim Hiller as a head coach. Never mentioned by the so-called experts. Now we wait and see what the next mistake the Oilers will make as a coach. I have little or no faith in Bowman or Jackson to make the right decision from Haffey. Well, they're the last team standing, the last team remaining to name a head coach. We asked the question, Hockey Night in Canada, no longer on CBC. Cam texted in and asked why. Well, okay, this is a longer story to talk about, Cam, but the main reason why is that CBC programming and their direction has been flawed for many years. I can tell you that being in television for 33 years. They're lucky to be on the air in any capacity. They've been supported and funded by the Liberal government unjustifiably for a long time. They offer very little to what the broadcast standard is. And that's a simple fact. The amount of money that is given to them in the billions of dollars doesn't justify what they put on the air. I mentioned this yesterday. Hockey Night in Canada, going back a few years, and even go before, like when CBC was making no money and was a burden on the tax society. When Hockey Night in Canada was there before, like let's just say before the last deal in 2013 from Rogers Sportsnet, Hockey Night in Canada was one of their few money makers. They made money on Hockey Night in Canada. They made a ton of money on the Stanley Cup playoffs. It supported and buoyed the rest of their programming. I mentioned the story of Rex Murphy, that old curmudgeon that would go on the air and have his commentary. And he would talk about how the Stanley Cup playoffs would overrun the National and this and that with overtime. And you could see the disgust on people's faces, like Peter Mansbridge going, "Oh, we're back after overtime." Da, 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 da. Well, yeah, but that was paying your salary. That's what Gord Miller said years ago. This is a long time ago, probably 20 years ago. And that's just the simple truth. Those are the cold, hard facts. But getting back to your question, Cam. So the games that you saw on Hockey Night in Canada on CBC were just simulcasts of what the game was on Sportsnet. It did offer them one more option of, let's just pretend you had 3 or 4 games going on. Like, say, sometimes there were 3 games going and you had one on Sportsnet 1 and one on Sportsnet West, and sometimes CBC had a game. Man, we were watching games on Omni and stuff like that, all owned by Rogers. They'll find a way to get these games on. But if you don't have a cable package, yes, this hurts you. This hurts you. I think they'll be finding a way to figure this out because, again, Hockey Night in Canada, everyone knows it was a staple. It's been going on forever. The other thing that I mentioned yesterday, that without Hockey Night in Canada, and let's just say government funding, and it's got to stop. It has to for the CBC. It has to. It's going to turn into PBS eventually. Might be another decade or two. We'll see how the government works. Our question was, though, who are some of your all-time favorite broadcasters? Harry says Jiminy Crickets. Howie, that's Howie Meeker. He would say Jiminy Crickets all the time. Don Cherry, a lot of Don Cherries. BC Oilers says Bob Cole was the best play-by-play guy CBC ever had, hands down. Grapes was the best intermission analyst. Yes, for sure. Jane Victoria says, I grew up with Peasant Vision. Hockey Night was a staple. ITV had some Oiler games. For sure they did. And that was back in the day where all the games weren't on, Jay and Victoria. Remember back in the day on ITV, and Tim Spellacy was the host, and Tim Dancy did play-by-play. Gary Dornhofer did color. Grapes did some color on ITV games, for Pete's sake. So did, and then like Bruce Buchanan came along, was a stalwart with the Oilers organization for many years. Jay says, I listened to every Oiler game with Rod Phillips on the radio. My favorite on CBC was Don Cherry when he was let go. I honestly stopped tuning in during the intermissions. And then when TSN got the hockey song 12 years ago, it changed. You know what? I think so many people, think about if you were in a bar and you all of a sudden the first period was over, people were talking, all of a sudden Grapes would come on and people would listen to what Grapes said. Delta Valley Jeff says, I'm in my early 40s, so it was Ron McLean, of course, Don Cherry. One segment I miss is the satellite hot stove between games on a Saturday night. Sportsnet is a dog's breakfast compared to the programming that came with old school Hockey Night. The satellite hot stove was unbelievable. Al Strachan was as good as it gets back in the day. Al Strachan was, I wonder how Al Strachan would be in today's landscape of television, sportscasting, and writing, because he was a writer first. But in today's immediacy and being a hockey insider and having the ability to have information out, I think Al Strachan would be just as good, if not better, than all the guys that you see right now. And I mean, I don't know if he's still alive or whatever, but man, he was a dandy for sure. Buddy Baker says Don Cherry was a beauty, proud Canadian, tells it how it is, doesn't like Ron McLean. Aaron says, AKK, I think my favorite Hockey Night commentator is Gary Gelly. Okay, there's a great newer choice. Love it, Aaron. Amazing to me that a guy, such an athlete with no training in broadcasting, made a seamless transition. Major impact to the media side. So, Aaron, now you see this with the Stromes that are coming in. This is the next wave. These are naturals. And hey, believe you me, when hockey producers watch interviews and they watch how the players handle themselves in interviews, and they see their personality and they see how well-spoken they are. That's hey, mark that guy down. At the end of his career, we're going to look at him. He's going to come in. How about Brendan Dillon, another guy that's pretty well-spoken, comes in and during the playoffs. These are trial runs for these guys. And you're right, like Gary Galley's one of those guys. It's a seamless entry. Some guys can do it and some guys can't. Some guys that are former players have problems evaluating and problems cutting or being negative or pulling out poor plays by their brethren. That's one of the hardest things for these guys to get past this. We're going to continue on with this conversation because it's a good one for sure. We got to get to Cam Tate before we get to the top of the hour, and Mark Spector. Also coming up, we've got Keith Stewart, Read the Line. We'll discuss round number 1 coming up at the U.S. Open, and then Dwayne Mandruza. Great for Dwayne to come on again. 50 years recognized on Saturday afternoon. But here's another edition of Cam and Eggs with Cam Tate. Order number 44.
Cam and Eggs, order 45. I heard the news late Tuesday. The CBC would no longer carry Hockey Night in Canada. I sat back. I wasn't shocked, not really. The signs had been there for years. But I wasn't ready to feel it either. So I did what my mother always told me to do with the hard things. I slept on it. I woke up gutted, plain and simple, sad in a way I couldn't shake over my morning coffee. You know the feeling you get the first time you move out of your parents' home? It's not the big things you miss. It's the small ones. It's the smell of supper already cooking when you walk through the door. It's the hum of a familiar voice down the hall calling you for dinner. It's the creak of the third stair you never noticed until it wasn't yours anymore. That's what this feels like. The CBC was home. And Hockey Night in Canada? That was Saturday dinner, the one meal where everyone came. Grandparents, kids, the whole table. No one wanted to miss it. The late Wes Montgomery, that wonderful Edmonton radio man, said it best. Saturday nights meant two things, a bath and Hockey Night in Canada on the CBC. Back in 1972, during that Canada-Russia series, it was Foster Hewitt on the CBC who called Paul Henderson's goal in Game 8. The goal that stopped a nation. We all remember where we were. And the gifts kept coming. Hockey Night even gave us the instant replay. I want to hear from you. I've posted a poll on X. What's your favorite Hockey Night in Canada memory? Go vote. Tell me your story. I'll be reading every single one. Some things you don't lose. You just carry them home in your heart forever. Cam and Eggs, Sports 1440.
Thank you, Tater. And now I know he's really trying to juice me with the order number, Duke. There's no.
Well, it was a good run of you guys being on the same page of what order number it was.
One day.
One single day.
Okay, so tomorrow technically is 44.
Well, okay, I was going to say this yesterday, but I didn't because you and Cam were actually in lockstep. But if we rewind to Friday, when Cam sent you the live read, he doesn't have an order number on it that day.
Yeah.
I might have to go back and listen to Thursdays and see what order that was.
Yeah. I got to say two things. And again, Jason, when I was talking about the funding, et cetera, this isn't just all on the Liberals. And Jason, thanks for correcting me, because the Conservatives were in power as well, not that long ago. And so I have to say that too. And maybe it's just the last few, with Trudeau, et cetera, and all that. But Jason, you're correct. It's the Conservatives too, and that it has to stop. So we had a couple texts saying, "Hey, thanks for mentioning that. It's a little sticky situation." There's things like bonuses that are handed out here, bonuses to execs, and in the last couple of years, we're looking at over $30 million handed out to bonuses, handed out to execs and performance bonuses. people that were non-unionized in the CBC. Like, it just is a poorly run company under the umbrella of government funding. That's as easy to say. Coming up, top of the hour, we got Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Keith Stewart, Read the Line, covers the U.S. Open. Covers every major that he's been at. He's come on the day before to preview it here for our listeners. And if you want to slap a little Hiroshi down, a little cash, Keith Stewart's the guy to listen to. So that's coming up at 8:20. We'll check in with Dwayne Mandrusic at 8:40. Massive accolades, finally recognized by the current regime that is doing it right, not like the past regimes for the last half dozen years or so within the EE organization. So that's all in the 8 o'clock hour. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding, awswelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Breaking news coming across the wire this morning. Toronto Maple Leafs are hiring Jim Hiller as the 41st head coach in franchise history. Hiller spent parts of the past 3 years in LA as head coach before being let go this past March. And the 57-year-old returned to Toronto. He spent 4 seasons as an assistant under Mike Babcock from 2015 to 2019. Also in the NHL, the league buyout window is now open through June 30th at 5 p.m. World Cup action yesterday was a star-filled day, and they lived up to the hype. Kylian Mbappe with a pair as France defeated Senegal 3-1. Erling Haaland scored a pair for Norway. They defeated Iraq 4-1, and Lionel Messi 3 goals, 3-0 win for Argentina over Algeria. Messi now moves into a tie atop the all-time goals list in World Cup history. And in the nightcap, Austria topped Jordan 3-1. In the majors yesterday, the Blue Jays defeated Boston 6-1 in that series opener from Fenway Park. Dylan Cease, another strong outing, and David Schneider, George Springer, both homering in the victory. The homer was George Springer's 300th of his career. Elsewhere, Yankees run it up on the White Sox 12-2. Cubbies fall to the Rockies 5-2. Seattle over Baltimore 3-1. And the nightcap, the Dodgers win a tight one 1-0 over Tampa Bay. Edmonton Riverhawks last night fall to Wenatchee 5-4 in that series lid lifter. They'll do it again later on tonight. Coming up in hour 2, the Kevin Karius Show will be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector, Keith Stewart from Read the Line covering the U.S. Open, and longtime Edmonton Elks equipment manager Dwayne Mandrusiak. I'm Brandon Douglas, Sector Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of. like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8:01 in Edmonton. Time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Hey, the June Road Trip Ready event is here. And you know what? It's the biggest sale of the year, so you can't beat it. You can enter for a chance to win free gas for the summer, so there's a lot of bonuses here as well. You got the weekly prizes like detailed packages. You can't do much better for your vehicle. Have it looking sharp in the summer. Free tires, the $20 multi-point vehicle inspection. All to get road trip ready. Check them out at northgategm.com as we welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec.
Kev, what's going on, man?
Well, big news. Jimmy Hiller, new head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Spec.
Yeah, I saw that just coming down the pipe here a few minutes ago. Isn't that something?
I was waiting for your thing to come up. Where are you at first round with that ticker on the top, going around or what?
That's, I think, the Cubs. That's the front of Wrigley Field.
Oh, man.
Back a little bit.
Hey, you know what? I got to tell you a quick story about like when you superimpose yourself over, and everybody, it's very common. I can remember. Do you remember when Global got that first, like how the new set looks, and you can basically put anything behind you? You know what I'm talking about?
Green screen stuff.
Yeah, it used to be just the weather. Okay, so just the weather was superimposed where. I can only say it Global because that's where he was. And like when Bill Matheson left, Claire Martin came in, and that's when the technology started because Bill wanted to tap the screen. He wanted the thing behind him and everything like that. Anyway, when that screen came in, and then it got to the stage where now the whole set was like that, and you could basically put whatever you wanted behind you. I said, man, we got to have people in here to see this. And the tall forehead said to me, nope, we're not doing that. And I go, why? And they explained to me, they thought, well, we could honestly sort of fool people to put them where they are. Do you know what I mean?
So, like, put them where they are. What do you mean put them where they are? Like,
okay, let's just say if you said you want a reporter and you could have them with the Eiffel Tower behind them. So-and-so reporting, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm not, that's to the extreme is what I'm saying, Spec.
So what are you telling me? The news is trying to fool everybody? That's not great.
Well, no, I'm just saying what I'm saying is you're trying to fool everyone saying you're at Wrigley Field. That's what
I'm sitting at Alberta Beach. I'm not in Chicago. There's a little bit of a distance there. I did play a Saskatchewan card game last night.
What was it?
Something called Saskatchewan Smear. You ever play that?
Never heard of it.
Really? What kind of Saskatchewanite are you?
How many people and what
4
was it?
people.
Trump
Me
game?
and Shelka and Bob and Noreen Walkham learned that game down in Weyburn.
Ooh. Saskatchewan Smear.
Smear, yeah. Anyone out there played Smear before?
So is it a Trump game or what is it?
Yeah, it's a Trump game, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to explain the whole game on the air here, but it's a good game. Jicks or Jacks and a whole bunch of Saskatchewan stuff going on in there. You have to found myself drinking whiskey, another Saskatchewan trait I'm fond of.
Okay, well, I was just going to say, Spec, it sounds like a swish game.
No, you don't have to drink to play it.
Yeah, but you've had swish, haven't you?
Maybe not.
Okay, swish is that's an old Saskatchewan thing too. I'm sure they did it here in Alberta too, but 50 years ago in Saskatchewan, all the old guys would buy the whiskey barrels, right?
Okay.
And then they would fill them up with water after the whiskey was gone. You fill them up with water about, I don't know, not even half full. and then you put it on its side, and then you would swish it around. Like you would just keep rolling it, move it over a quarter turn every couple of days. And then the whiskey that was in the wood soaked into the water. So you ended up like probably, I don't know, 20%, 25%.
Really?
Yeah. And it was, all
I
you
bet
needed
you
was
was. I bet you was tasty too.
Oh, no. It was so bad, Spec. So bad. Anyway, like.
Well, they don't have liquor stores in Saskatchewan or what?
No, just everyone had no money, Spec. Hey, Matt Leduc just quickly texted in, any Saskatchewan card game has never played with a full deck, Spec.
Yeah. Hey. So Jimmy Hiller.
Yeah, what do you make of Jimmy Hiller? I mean, as you know, I think I've told you I've known Jimmy since 1988. We were lucky enough, or I was lucky enough to play with Jimmy a year of junior hockey back in the SJHL. And here he is now coaching the Toronto Maple Leafs. Wow.
SJHL. So that would have been in Prince Albert Raiders?
No, I was in we were in Malville. Jimmy was there, and then he went to play at Northern Michigan after that. He got his scholarship.
Okay, yeah, he played. So they didn't even have that on Hockey DB.
No,
That's how far down that league was.
If you go to, I think he might be on Elite Prospects if you went to that one.
Anyhow, listen, Jimmy Hiller, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He's had he was an assistant on Barry Trotz's staff. He was assistant in Toronto for 3 or 4 years with Mike Babcock.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to the Islanders. I believe that was Barry Trotz's staff. Then he went to LA, and that was on Todd McClellan's staff. So he's been an assistant for some excellent guys. He ran his own team down there. To limited success, but I'm not sure that was all about the coach in LA, frankly. But I guess the only thing that sort of surprises me is everything in Toronto was going to be super, super statistical and analytics, and everything was going to be about adding it all up and making it work that way. And he never strikes me as that guy. He's a little bit of an old timey coach for that job, but I'm happy to see it. He's a good guy.
Well, I'll tell you what, Spec, and I had a beer with him a number of years ago, and he was actually, I think he was coaching at Tri-City, and they were in town here. And he's a lot more analytics than you think. In fact, they were starting a company back then, and there was a guy out of Edmonton area, I think it was Darcy Warenka, but I'm not 100% sure. I got to figure that out. But they were starting up a company, and this would be, like 20 some years ago, Spec. And it got to that stage where this company was on the verge of an analytics system. And whether it, you can talk about all the names of certain analytics and all the things that we hear now, but that was in the works back then. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So he's been, I think we trip on ourselves a little assigning, who's an analytics guy and who isn't, right? I think we say, and this organization relies heavily on analytics. I think 10, 12, 15 years ago, there were some organizations that didn't, and some that were, finding their way through that whole statistical field. Now, everybody's got an analytics department. Sure, Eric Tulsky came right out of the blogosphere and became a GM, and that's a legitimate story, and he's had great success, and take your hat off to him. But when you talked to Chris Knobloch last year for the Oilers, he had reams of analytical
absolutely
information to lay down on you, and that's coming from a fulsome department led by Mike Parcati, who's well respected in the business. And every team does it now. It's not like I don't do analytics. You're never going to get a job in the NHL if that's your attitude.
Yeah, it has to be part of the whole solution here. It was Brad Warenka, and he was a local guy, Spec. Do you remember him? He was an Edmonton guy.
Yeah, I covered him. Played for the Oilers.
Yeah, there you go. So I think it was Brad, and I'd have to do a little more research on this. Again, this is a little over 20 years ago when Jimmy told me about it. So
yeah, there you go. Well, I wonder what Brad Warenka's doing. So one day we're in the Quebec Nordique visitor dressing room in La Coliseum.
Yeah.
And I hear that we're the trade in Warinka. And Slats is standing there, and I say to Slats, to Glenn Sather, hey, I hear you're trading. I hear they probably got a deal with Quebec or with somebody. I said, you gotta deal with somebody for Warinka. Are you gonna trade him? And Slats, who's standing in the dressing room in La Coliseum next to me, says, no. He says, Brad Warinka's got a long future in this town. So we fly home the next day. We land at the airport. First thing I hear is they traded him to Quebec.
That's wow.
He did have a long future in that town, but not in Edmonton.
I'm just looking out. I think he might be a lawyer.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know how long this is, but maybe he's been an assistant coach at the University of Calgary with the Dinosaurs.
Oh, is that right?
So I don't know if he's still there, but
Brad was a good puck moving defenseman. He was had a really nice shot. He was sort of back then when being an offensive defenseman wasn't that easy. That was sort of what the trade he was trying to ply, I think. Those Oilers teams weren't that good that he was on, that I recall, but he had a good career.
The other thing, too, he was with the national team, remember?
That's right, yeah.
So he was a second-round pick by the Oilers back in 87.
Okay, so the field is open. Nobody else needs a head coach except for the Edmonton Oilers.
That's right.
Right?
That is it.
And there's every available coach that you can think of, every guy that doesn't have a job right now, every guy that interviewed in Toronto and interviewed in LA and interviewed in Vancouver and Edmonton. They're all wide open. All you've lost out on is Manuel Hotra, Jim Hiller, two guys you probably were never going to hire here, and Pete Laviolette, a guy you might have hired here.
Yeah. There were some whispers that Hiller had an interview here, though, right, Spec?
That could be. I'm not sure. I did hear that at some point. I'm sure he probably did. If you're doing your due diligence, you probably talked to him. But my point is, no one's stomping their feet saying, "Oh my God, we missed out on Jim Hiller. What a mistake that was!" Like, he's a good coach, and Toronto's going to work in Toronto, I hope.
Well, again, he was assistant there under Babcock for 4 years, so
sure.
he knows, what makes Matthews and Marner tick a little bit, and I would imagine the style of play is going to be much more different than what we saw.
I don't know what Toronto's going to do. Toronto's got their own issues, man. Toronto needs defensemen. I don't know what they're doing in that trade yesterday. What does Toronto get out of that trade yesterday? I've been looking at it. What do they get?
I don't know. Is it? I wish I could tell you. I mean, is it a salary dump that they think that Wall's not going to be healthy at all? Is that part of it?
Well, what does Samuel Ersson make?
Well, he's not signed.
Well, that's exactly. So he's not signed. That's right. Excuse me. Yeah. So the talk is they may not even sign him. I mean, geez, I don't know. You better have a line on a goalie. I'm not saying like Wall when he's healthy, he's a decent goalie, but the other guy they have is healthy even less. It's Stolarz.
Yeah.
Like Wall's their healthy goalie. Stolarz is hurt more than Wall is.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know when Hildeby came in. I mean, do they think that he can be a backup? I have no idea.
Well, do they think that Stolarz can be a starter?
Mm-hmm.
Like he plays 35 games a year. So I don't really get it. They bring in this Emil Andre, who's
they have to sign him too, right? As well.
Well, whatever. He's they list him at 5'9", 189, which means he's 5'8", 180 probably. And he doesn't have any points. Like, you can be really small. That's okay if you're a really small player. But you better be, like Jared Spurgeon good, or you better be, have Carlson's offense to your game. But this guy's got 20 points in over 100 games in the NHL. So he scores a point every fifth game. So he's a 5'8" defenseman that doesn't score many points. What are you doing with him?
Yeah, I don't know the reasoning behind the trade, and I have no idea what it is. And
no, me neither. So anyway, the Leafs are moving along. They're making their moves, and good for them. They'll figure it out, I'm sure, at some point here.
Nothing. You never heard any whispers over the course of when we spoke last and yesterday afternoon, last night, Oilers, anything?
No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir. I haven't heard that. It's all quiet on the Western Front, as it were. I mean, at this point, they're sitting and waiting around for the Babcock news to come from the NHL. I'll be very interested to see if they're still willing to pull the trigger on that hire if the NHL gives them the go-ahead, because there's been nothing but bad press about this guy since the moment they stated his name.
How do you think, if that happens, how do you think that news conference media availability is going to go?
Well, I mean, I think that the questions that I would bring to the table anyway, Kev, is when they hired Stan Bowman, we all wanted to know what Stan had done to earn his second chance. Now, this is like a third chance for Babcock. But Stan had done a lot of soul searching coming out of Chicago. He spent a lot of time with Sheldon Kennedy, remember? Yeah. He had several examples of people he'd spoken to. He talked to, the aggrieved player and spent a lot of time with him and had his blessing in Chicago. He'd really gone there and made amends as best he could and worked hard at it and did a lot of like tangible things and had actual references from people who said, oh yeah, Stan Bowman, he realized his mistakes and he's done the best to better himself and he deserves this chance. And I'm for that. I'm for a second chance. And if you work at it. Yeah. So I guess I would ask Mike Babcock upon his third opportunity here, what's he done? Who's he talked to? How's he changed? What's he worked on? Give me some examples of things you've done to become a way better person than you've been so far. That's what I'd want to know.
Good stuff, Spec. Appreciate it. Just so you know, Jim Hiller back in 87-88, 38 goals, 49 assists in 60 games for the Melville Millionaires.
Hey, always good when there's another Melville millionaire on the scene, buddy.
You don't want to know what my stats were, Spec? Like, is that just you don't care or what?
Oh, let's hear them. What were they?
37 games played, blew a knee out, 12 goals, 16 assists, 28 points.
That's pretty good. 28 points in 37 games.
Yeah.
Not bad. Too bad you have no pain threshold. You could have played a few more.
See you later. Talk to you tomorrow. We'll play your stupid Saskatchewan card game. Mark Spector on the mark. Brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. When we come back, Keith Stewart from Read the Line will preview tomorrow's U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills. It's the Kevin Carey Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick. Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z, promomarketing.ca.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal's only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience, All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like area adjusted and Red Wing made in China when Canadian made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8:21 in Edmonton, and time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, the MVP that you did not know that you needed for all your plumbing needs. Go to mrrooter.ca as we welcome back Keith Stewart from Read the Line, covering the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills. Good morning, Keith. Here with Kevin Karius. As always, thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 ahead of the next major. Really appreciate it, Keith.
Kevin, it's always great to talk to your audience in advance of the major championships in golf. And if there's any of those international matches you and I love so much. So let's get into it. I mean, there's a lot to talk about at this venue.
Better believe it. Are you in the media center there behind you at the U.S. Open? Where are you at?
Yes, I'm in the media center right now. There's kind of a radio booth row, and turns out I'm on the radio right now. So
Absolutely.
I'm here with you.
What's it compared to like at Augusta National? Because that facility, the new one, I think I saw the old one a long time ago, Keith, but what's the comparability there?
Well, the comparability, Kevin, are you married?
No. Well, yes, I guess.
Yes. Okay. Well,
am I in trouble for that one, man? Oh, go.
Well, no. Okay. Sorry to bring that up, but I'll use my own perspective then, right? I'm a married man. If I go on the road and I pick out a hotel, it's a certain type of hotel, and that's the one I'm in right now. But if I go with my wife, she has to pick out the hotel. And guess what? That's like Augusta National. So if you understand the difference between those two things and you're listening to this radio program, then you know exactly what I mean between this media center and the press building at Augusta National.
I get you. Keith Stewart with us from Read the Line. So here we go. U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills. Is this the toughest course in U.S. Open? Not just the history, but it's the sixth time that we've had the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills. So in the 100 years, is it the toughest course that these golfers have faced all the time?
I don't want to make anyone upset. Where we were a year ago at Oakmont, Parkland style golf course that is very, very difficult. It showed its teeth last year. JJ Spawn came out on top. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is, without the elements, if you put Shinnecock against Oakmont, it'd be a pretty close match. I think Oakmont might come out as being the toughest, but Oakmont doesn't have the wind and the elements that you have out here on the east end of Long Island. And when the wind kicks in and you start to talk about, the soil conditions here and how firm and fast it always plays, I think at the end of the day, the simple answer to your question is yes. This is about as tough as it can get on a week-to-week basis. I mean, there's other places that maybe you might catch a perfect storm and it might be really tough that particular week, but week after week, if you came out here, you could run the U.S. Open probably every week of the summer out here on Long Island.
Yeah. What have you noticed, Keith, the course compared to 2018 when it last hosted?
The golf course, and the guys are talking about this around the practice facility, in the player interview room. They're definitely talking about the fact that the USGA has the place much softer, much safer at this point in the week. Now, the USGA has already come out and said that the golf course is going to be its most playable on Thursday, and they're going to continue to let it get tougher and tougher and tougher as we go into Sunday. Now, if you align that with the weather forecast, the wind looks really, really strong, especially on Thursday afternoon. So they have to have a bit of, a cautious approach to what they're doing here. Overall, the biggest difference between 2018 and 2026, or where we are now, by first impression, you're going to see that the fairways are a little wider. I don't know that they'll play any wider, but they're definitely wider. And, overall, the green speeds and the texture of the ground is a little bit softer. So to answer your question, I would say those couple bullet points right there.
Right. Keith Stewart, Read the Line, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. I saw the video of the 2 p.m. water shift guy watering the greens here. I got to get that guy for our garden up here in Edmonton, Keith. He's quick. He's efficient, man. What do you think of this?
Well, when they're syringing the greens, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, they're doing that special for the U.S. Open, and then all like the golf traditionalists is like, well, whatever that is in the morning, it should stay for the rest of the day. Folks, pump the brakes, calm yourselves down. It's a tradition here at Shinnecock because the place can dry out so easily. You got to remember something, like we are between two bodies of water, Peconic Bay to the north and then the Atlantic Ocean to the south. And these greens are all pushed up. There is a lot of terrain change here. On the 12th tee is 70 feet above sea level, and the beach is about 1.5 miles away. So think about that climb. And then the lowest point of the golf course, the 6th hole, is about 6 feet above sea level. So just here on the golf course, there's so many exposed areas where when the wind comes in from side to side, there's some ground that jets up, and a lot of them is just the green complexes. They sit up above the fairways. The guys have to water this place. So they started a tradition where in order to properly take care of the golf course and not try to lose it or anything like that, that every day they water it too. This is just another week at Shinnecock, albeit there's some pretty good players here and some fans, but they got to take care of business, and the grounds agronomy team here is second to none.
I thought Rory McIlroy yesterday, Keith, explained that so well, just almost exactly like you did, because he was maybe unaware and maybe a little uneducated about it before.
Here's the thing. Most people get upset in anything in life when something surprises them. You know, Shinnecock and the USGA is trying to lay out their game plan this time. They got surprised and they lost the golf course in 2004. We all know that. It's well documented. They got surprised on Saturday when the wind kicked up. They didn't expect it in 2018 and they lost the golf course. The USGA is trying to get out in front of all of this controversy that they know has been attached to this venue, which is, in their mind, it's one of the 5 original courses recognized by the USGA. It's one of the 5 clubs. And they would love to have the championship here and have the storyline be the champion for once, and and have it not be, the golf course and the storylines associated with it or the management of the championship. So, I think that as long as you're out in front of it and say, hey, at 2:00, we're doing this, or hey, we're setting the golf course up in such a way that it's going to, increase in difficulty as the week goes on, then I think the players don't really have anything to gripe about. They know what's out in front of them, but if you go and you surprise them and it starts to look like maybe you're favoring one side of the wave versus another, or, that's when you get yourself into trouble. And I think that they're doing a decent job of that this time.
Keith Stewart with us on the Kevin Karius Show from Sports 1440 Studios here at West Edmonton Mall. Keith, of course, with Read the Line for many, many years. So you got Xander Schauffele to win this thing. Golf handicapping is harder than any other sport. It's just that's the way it is. Why do you got Xander Schauffele winning this thing this weekend, Keith?
Well, Kevin, quite simply, it's harder than any other sport because, well, look at the payouts, right? Yeah. This thing's the 4-day lottery. You could get all sorts of bets in the World Cup right now, the NBA Finals, which are now over. But you could get all the Knicks were down 27 in Game 4. And the money line bet that I took was Knicks plus 1,200. Yeah. Xander's 2,000 to start the week. It's tough to predict these things, but in 4 days, you could win the lottery. Xander himself, a lot of people forget this. His first U.S. Open was in 2017 at Erin Hills. He had to qualify. We think of Xander being top 5 player in the world, a 2-time major winner, all of this stuff, Ryder Cupper, President's Cupper. But he had to qualify to get on tour. He finished 5th that year at Erin Hills. And since then, his record in the U.S. Open, 9 starts, 7 top 10s. The guy is so well-rounded. The harder the challenge, it always seems that he is able to top 10. And if you're just looking to have a guy that is going to be in the mix this weekend, then I think Xander's definitely the guy. Everyone else at the top of the board, there's small little question marks. I don't have a question about Xander top 10ing. I mean, 3rd at the Players. Well, he was 9th at the Masters, 7th at the PGA. Pretty good record so far in 2026.
Also, some of your colleagues really looking towards Matt Fitzpatrick. Why?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Matt Fitzpatrick makes a world of sense. Former U.S. Open champion in 2022. He did it here in the Northeast in firm conditions on a classic style golf course up there at the Country Club, a place he had a good experience. But the real key for Matt Fitzpatrick this week and why everybody's jumping on the Fitzpatrick bus. There's more people on the Fitzpatrick bus down here than there is on the Knicks bus. It's unbelievable. As a New Jersey guy, as a tri-state area New York guy, Knicks fan, I can't believe how many people are Knicks fans in this media center. And They're from Edmonton. They're from all over the place, Kevin. It's crazy, right? But Fitzpatrick makes sense for a couple reasons. And the number one is that when it gets windy, he has some of the lowest ball flight trajectory on the PGA Tour of an elite player. Now, there's other guys I could name, but of the super elite players, top 10 players in the world, he has the lowest ball flight. He has the best trajectory control. And when things get sideways, and they're going to get sideways Thursday afternoon, I mean, it's going to blow 20 out here all week. Matt's going to be able to keep it below a lot of where the other guys are hitting the golf ball. Rory hits the ball very high. Ludwig Oberg hits the ball very, very high. It's going to be tougher to control your golf shots. They have to change something to their DNA in order to handle Shinnecock. Matt Fitzpatrick doesn't have to do that. He's a proven U.S. Open winner. He understands the patience that's necessary. Great short game, good short putter. Matt Fitzpatrick, European trend this year in major championships. I don't like it, but you know what? Hey, it's our job to fix it. Matt Fitzpatrick should be on a lot of people's betting cards.
Keith Stewart with us on Sports 1440. For your dark horse, you got Patrick Reed. Why?
Oh, so Patrick Reed is a polarizing individual. We all know that about him, right? But the fact of the matter is the guy wins golf tournaments, and he does it in a way that suits this setting. He is incredibly good with his short game. He's incredibly good putter, and he's a grinder. And if you look at what's the through line in all the modern, U.S. Opens that we've had here at Shinnecock, Raymond Floyd, Corey Pavin, Brooks Koepka, Retief Goosen, all of these guys are super gritty. They're grinders. They've always been known as such. I mean, people are like, oh, but Retief Goosen was struck by lightning at one point in his life, and he came back and he won 2 U.S. Opens, Kevin, right? The guy's got grit. Nobody's looking to get in a bar fight with Raymond Floyd or Brooks Koepka. I know that for a fact. And Corey Pavin, you look up grinder in the dictionary, and you're either going to see a sub sandwich or you're going to see Corey Pavin. I mean, that's what you're going to see. So the fact of the matter is like, you need a guy, and Reed's also come out and said many, many times, he's kind of an architect aficionado in golf. He's a junkie a little bit. He likes the golf course design stuff. He has said that this is his favorite golf course in the world. Little extra motivation, the fact that he's a grinder, the fact that he just shows up for major championships and continues to contend and does it, like he embraces the limelight. A lot of these guys will turtle when it comes down to it on Sunday afternoon. They get that leaderboard gravity, right? They go and hide in their shell and they start falling down the leaderboard. Reed looks at those situations. He says, I don't care if I lose, but I'm going to try to win. And for a guy where we know we're going to need short game, we know we're going to need some U.S. Open grit and resolve. It's been the through line of this championship. Patrick Reed checks all the boxes for me.
Would you sprinkle a little bit here, Keith, on the winning score being under par? Because it hasn't happened very often, only 3 times at Shinnecockins.
100%. And there's a couple things working in your favor. The biggest of which is what, I talked about a bunch already, is that the USGA is not trying to screw this up. They are not trying to lose the golf course. These guys are good enough, even in the wind, that 1 or 2 guys can shoot under par. As long as the golf course stays playable, I would definitely go under par.
Perfect. Hey, I just wanted to revisit last week's RBC Canadian Open. How cool was it to see Bud Cauley win, Keith?
Oh, just a tremendous story in golf. And, there's a lot of talk about scheduling. There's a lot of talk about tiers in golf coming in 2028 with what the PGA Tour is going to do. Brian Roloff has a big press conference scheduled for Tuesday. I'll be up there at Travelers covering that event. And what it comes down to is that if you look at this year, the signature events they've been pretty good, but it's the same 70 guys kind of playing one another. I know we've had some good stories like Jacob Bridgman and everything, but like these tier 2 events have been fantastic. Brandt Snedeker winning one, the Bud Cauley comeback story winning another. I couldn't be happier for something like the RBC Canadian Open, which is something that should be a mainstay on the PGA Tour, a fantastic event. Say what you want about TPC Toronto. It's had 2 pretty good finishes. It's had 2 pretty, with overall, I'm happy for these tier 2 events. They continue to kind of emphasize and market and promote the meritocracy that makes the PGA Tour so much fun to watch week after week, independent of the venue.
Yeah, for sure, Keith. And, getting back to what Rory in his media availability yesterday, because he brought that up about the tier 2 events, and he brought up the RBC and that, and where do you stand on this? Because it's a slippery slope, fine line when you think about everything. And, he was talking about live and everything else. Maybe just a comment on what, the totality of what Rory McIlroy said yesterday regarding what we were just talking about.
Well, it's interesting because, Rory has been the mouthpiece for a lot of things that surround LIV, the schedule, the PGA Tour for many years. And, part of the reason in the beginning, I think he was a little bit of a talking head for the tour. And then now at this point, he is giving his own opinion. In either case, Rory gives you a good soundbite. He's forthright and he's transparent and he's sharing what he thinks. And I think that that's a good thing. And what he said about the Canadian Open, I would say, and not just because I'm talking to a Canadian audience, but if for some reason that becomes a tier 2 event, and it would be a shame because RBC, they're talking about sponsors and not wanting to spend the money. RBC sponsors 2 PGA Tour events, 2, Kevin, right? Not just one. So they should be rewarded in some way. And I look at it this way. I look at the golf ecosystem as like one big hole. If for some reason they end up getting shafted and they're put down into like a track 2 sort of scenario, I think Augusta National comes out and says, as a national open, you win the Canadian Open, you get in the Masters, just like they've done with the different, national opens, the Australian, the ones all over the world. And I think that there's many ways with which the RBC Canadian Open can come out on top. I would just beg the pundits up there to stay patient and just see how this whole thing plays out. Whether they go tier 1 or tier 2, I think there's still a way that event, retains its history. And we'll be thinking about Nick Taylor flipping that putter for the rest of our lives.
Well, and not just the 2 tournaments. How many sleeves do you see the RBC logo on? Not just Canadian golfers, America, all of them, right?
Tons. Again, I mean, you and I could go on and on about how the RBC has been a benefit to the PGA Tour, and I hope, they're going to be thoughtful about all of this.
I think so,
and there's going to be collateral damage, Kevin. But at the end of the day, I think that RBC and the Canadian Open will find a place where it still holds its tradition in the game of golf.
Well, Keith, as always, thanks for your time. I wish you could come in our Sports 1440 golf draft. We're going to have in about an hour or so because the loser has to buy brunch and lunch at the Szechuan Castle Chinese buffet down the road here.
Oh, boy.
And looking forward to another victory here as well.
I mean, if you make me first in the draft, I can make my pick now.
Well, you know what, Duke, if you want to fly up, if you lose, you got to fly up and pay the freight though here, big guy. You got to buy lunch for everyone.
Well, 2 things. 1, if I get to have lunch with you and Brandon, I'm in. And number 2, if poutane's on the menu, I'm double in.
Great stuff. Hey, enjoy the U.S. Open, Keith. As always, thanks for your time ahead of a major.
All right, I can't wait to chat with you guys in a month for the Open Championship. Enjoy Shinnecock, guys. It's spectacular down here.
Can't wait. Thanks a lot, Keith. That's Keith Stewart. Read the line. Check out all this stuff. I mean, they have a good system. They have about 7 experts, and they all have, their dark horse, their favorite, a player who's fading, et cetera, et cetera. You can just check it, surf at the internet. It's on many, many sites out there, but it's good information for sure. That's the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter, keeping you out of the penalty box. That's mrrooter.ca. When we come back, Dwayne Mandrusiak going to be recognized for a half century and plus more. It's more than a half century of work with the Double E. That's right after the break. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
Summer weekends in Alberta mean one thing: tournament season.
I brought the folding chairs. I brought the sunscreen.
I brought the umbrella, just in case. But who brought the snacks to get through a doubleheader?
I got Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the ultimate sideline fuel. Whether you're cheering on the kids or watching the pros, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club. fun and friendly with morning rates Monday to Thursday. Just $65 for 18 holes with cart, $55 for seniors. Includes a $5 food voucher for dining at Cattail's Out of Bounds restaurant. There's early bird golf Saturday and Sunday. $50 for 9 holes with cart and snack voucher. 9 and dine Fridays after 4. $130 per pair for 9 holes, cart, and a $40 Out of Bounds gift card. Plus, Glow Golf every second Friday and bring your dog golfing on Mondays. Visit cattailcrossing.ca.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen. Saturday, June 20th is the day to be at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail. Come live the legend because the HD semi-truck is rolling in, bringing you the exclusive chance to test ride the powerful new 2026 models. All you need is your riding gear and Class 6 license to ride. Be there to enter to win a 2026 Liberty Edition Heritage Classic, door prizes, and more. Don't miss the ultimate ride event of the summer. Locally owned and operated since 1980. Visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail or at hdedmonton.com.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. You've known and trusted us as Canada's lawn expert since 1979. In all that time, the only thing we've loved to watch grow and flourish more than your lawn is our community. You've given us so much over the years, and we love to give back. Our community events crew is on the streets, at the festivals, and helping grow great causes and charities across the city. We love knowing your lawn is taken care of, and we'll help take care of the community too. Visit greendrop.com, and we'll see you out there.
Start thinking spring road trips and off-road trips in your new Subaru Crosstrek. Stylish, rugged, and so many features. Standard on every Crosstrek. Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, EyeSight driver assist technology, heated seats, and LED steering responsive headlights. Plus, with interest rates from 0.99%, you'll love the affordable weekly payments. No waiting, immediate delivery available. Subaru Crosstrek. Visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Wendy's 99-cent Frosty is back, and Frosty farmers couldn't be happier. Made with Canadian dairy, they grow up cool, creamy, and mighty thick. It's farm to Frosty. Get a small 99-cent Frosty until August 2nd. At participating Wendy's, Texas Extra.
Get ready, outdoor enthusiasts, for the Kalmar Gun Show. Head to the Kalmar Hockey Arena Friday 3 till 8, Saturday 10 till 6, Sunday 10 till 3 for the premier event to buy, sell, and trade the best in hunting and sporting gear. Visit huntmaniashows.com.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
Welcome back to the big program. Just in the process of getting Dwayne Mandrusic on the horn here. I think he's going to give you a call, Duke, too. There we go. It's funny how sometimes things you're phoning a guy and it's not working on that end. And then I said, well, give us a call here, Dwayne. And that's what we're going to talk about. Just a remarkable Saturday afternoon expected here. And I've been so lucky to know Dwayne for, I don't know, since 1998. So 28 great years that I've been proud to call him a friend and so proud of him for sure. Hey, let's welcome in Dwayne Mandrusic. Good morning, big guy. How's it going, bud?
Good, man. How are you?
Well, not too bad. I figured, you texted late last night. I figured you're out partying all afternoon or golfing or something. And then
not golfing in this weather. Not a chance, man.
Not a chance. No kidding. Hey, so this is going to be great. You couldn't have handled things from 6 years ago when some previous regimes here, threw you under the bus and all that. And we're not getting to get into all that stuff, but it's just great that the new owners and Chris and everyone want to recognize you on Saturday afternoon.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kev, I wouldn't be here. I would not have come back if it wasn't for the upper management and the new owners. The Thompson family have been unbelievably good to me, and they continue to be. I mean, it's a friendship that is amazing, and I look at with Ed there and Chris and JC and all these guys, and we all work together. We won a Grey Cup together, and it's that old saying, win today and we walk together forever, and it's really the truth. And I'm having a great time. The players. This reminds me of 2014 when we started the cycle going back, and it's a good crew. I'm having a lot of fun for an old guy.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Can you remember, even when you first started as a ball boy with the team in 1971? What was that like for you as just a young kid, just going out on the field and at Clark and just starting, what is more than a half century with a family and a team in the green and gold?
Well, you know what? It's funny. I got hurt in a football camp, and I wanted to stay around, and so I asked the coaches, and Clarence Koshman was one of the coaches, and he played with the Eskimos in 1966. And he said, well, we need a trainer. And I said, what does a trainer do? I don't have any clue what that is. And he said, well, you learn to tape ankles, and you put an ice pack on a guy, and we'll have a doctor around who'll do all the real stuff, but we just have somebody that can help out. And so I said, I'd like to try that. And so he said, well, we're going to send you to the Edmonton Eskimos to learn how to tape and do some stuff. And they sent me to Tom Pond, and I was there watching him tape the guy's ankle. And the locker room attendant who was working there came in and said, I'm not picking up the dirty laundry anymore. And that's not what I thought this job was about. And Tom said, well, that's what it's about. And he said, I ain't doing it. He said, then you're fired. And he looked at me and said, you want to work here, kid? Oh. And I said, I got to ask my mom, but it was the right place at the right time. And I never took any days for granted there. I loved working there. And my boys grew up there. And so it's got a place for this family. I mean, we owe a lot to them.
Yeah. I mean, when I got here, the boys were hanging around, your boys were hanging around and getting going and everything like that. How special was it for you to have, your family there as well?
Well, you know what? I was happy to get my first Grey Cup ring. It was ecstatic, but I was more, it meant more to me to give it to my dad. To wear one. My first one, I collected a couple, and to watch my kids get their own rings, and they didn't have to wait for me to die anymore. But it's it's their rooms at home are a pigsty, and the locker room was immaculate when they left, and they knew what it meant to do it the right way.
Yeah, no kidding. Dwayne Mandrusic with us on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. Dwayne's going to be recognized Saturday afternoon for a half century of working for the team. It's actually more than a half century, because for the last couple of years, you've been doing some community ambassador stuff and doing other things. What's that been like for you?
It's great. I get to tell stories, and we walk around and see different places in the stadium that have meaning to us, to me, and I have the people like the two ticket holders that I've done this tour with. I see them at a game, and they come up and tell me how much they enjoyed the tour and stuff, and it changes no two tours are the same. People ask me questions of them. Well, do you know what John Konahowski? And I have a story about John, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know you texted me after we had George McGowan on about a few weeks ago. That was I hadn't really spoken to George for an awful long time, and it's just one of those guys that you grew close to in the 70s when he got here. Well, he would probably got here just a couple of years after you, right, Dwayne?
Yeah, he did. I tell you what, he was a class act the whole time he was here. He was good. I mean, you never hear he had such soft hands, Kevin. You'd never hear him catch the ball, but he. I mean, that group was. We were all having kids at the same time. I was the same age as a bunch of. I mean, my kids still have friendships with Ryan Kelly and those guys that. The kids of the players that I worked with. So it was a good run.
Yeah, when you were equipment manager and you think about like the big game in Montreal, that was the big one with the staple game. Was that like as far as equipment stuff that you had to deal with? Does that one come to mind the most?
That's the one that bugs me the most. Yeah. But we made up for it. We knew that we were going to we were getting better, and this team was going to start getting into the playoffs, and the field at Commonwealth, as good as it is in the summer and stuff, it could be a disaster in the winter. And so we started looking around. My assistant Robbie Strecker and I had to find the right footwear. We called a bunch of NFL guys that I know, and they all recommended different shoes. And we brought them in and put them in the freezer and let them sit for a while, and brought them back out and checked on which ones the soles were still pliable.
Wow!
And so we bought hundreds of pairs of shoes and had them. We still have a bunch of them. Green Bay Packers, my buddy Red Batty gave me 100 pairs of but brand new Nike Destroyers. And we carried those from Montreal to back home. We brought them in Montreal. And so we had the proper footwear, and we made the players the shorts started because players would complain about how cold it was. So I tell the staff, equipment staff, boys, let's go in the shorts and show them that it isn't that cold. and then nobody wanted to wreck the flow, so we kept taking wearing our shorts every time. So.
Yeah. Dwayne Mandruzic with us on Sports 1440, going to be honored on Saturday afternoon for the Double E home opener against Montreal. Have you been able to see the transition here and what it's like in the last month from the turf to the grass and then back to the turf? And then, so what is this, what's the footing going to be like this compared to what you were, what you were implementing with all these shoes and on the grass and then into turf later?
I'll tell you what, having turf makes it a lot easier because it's consistent. And but I like the grass, and I saw the grass out there, and I thought, we should leave it for 1 year, but that didn't happen. But it's a great turf. We have a football turf. That the last 10 years we had a soccer turf from the Women's World Cup, so it's a different feel. But the footing and stuff should be fantastic for the boys, and they're all excited about getting out on it. So.
Did you really have a double-headed coin for the coin toss at Clark for that game against Calgary a couple weeks ago in the preseason?
No, I didn't.
You told me that. I said I wouldn't put it past that bugger. I said when he told me that.
But I did practice the boys were all over you. You practice your flipping the coin, so we joke. Stand on the sidelines flipping out.
Oh, that's so funny. Hey, so when you're standing out, I assume it's going to be at the center field stripe here on Saturday afternoon. What are your thoughts going to be, Dwayne? What are you going to be thinking? Who are you going to be thinking of?
Oh, my family.
Yeah.
A lot. My dad, he was a salesman, and he would come home on Fridays. He'd be on the road for most of the week, and he'd come home and take us to whatever we had to do. He was like, he never said no, and made sure that we had the all the stuff that we needed. And my mom did our repairs for 35 years, and she never went to one game because she thought it was bad luck, because she went and watched me play hockey one time, and I got hurt.
Yeah.
And so she said, I can't go, somebody will get hurt. But I mean, they
did your mom sew? Remember that old I don't know if it was a practice jersey that Danny Kepley had? Did she sew?
It's hanging up in my basement.
Oh man, isn't that something?
I just take it there, and she'd repair it because he wore it outside, and he always got ripped. But people said, too bad you don't have a Dan Kepley jersey. And I said, this one means more to me than the jersey.
Yeah, you better believe it. And then, of course, I mean, there's no one closer to Joey Moss than yourself and Sparky Kulchiski. I'm sure he's gonna be in the top of your mind for sure.
Oh, absolutely. he taught us all about hard work and being a true pro. I mean, he was when a guy gets cut, people don't understand how dramatic it is. You get a guy coming up from the States and he says, he's telling all his buddies, I'm going to go to the CFL, get all kinds of yards and stuff, and go back to the NFL, and they get cut at training camp, and you don't know what to do. It's like a death. But Joey would go over to the guy, give him a hug, talk to him a little bit, kiss him on the cheek, and say that he loved him, and the guy'd get a little chuckle. But he kept our locker room loose, and he understood when it was time to fool around and when it was time to get ready to play.
Well, Dwayne, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Enjoy Saturday. Besides, even if the Elks were to win the game, the highlight for me will be watching you at center field, big guy.
Well, I'll look for you and I'll wave.
I'll be the guy clapping the loudest.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Okay. Thanks, Dwayne. We'll see you soon. Take care, man.
All right. Love you, man.
Yeah. Love you too, bud. That's Dwayne Mandrusic. He's going to be recognized on Saturday afternoon. And I mean, 50 years. Well, it's more than 50, but 50 years that he has been with this organization. And again, they are righting a wrong that happened 6 years ago or so under a regime that didn't understand what it was about to be an Eskimo, what it was about to be bone, what it was about to be all those things that I have no idea what it is, because you got to be in the room, you got to be in the organization. But this is just stuff from guys like Eddie Steele telling me, and Michael Riley, and all these great players that have come through here. So this is a long time coming, and full marks to the organization for doing it. And congratulations to Dwayne. It's just going to be a hell of an afternoon for sure. Top of the hour, we got David Schlemko coming in, our co-host on Wednesdays for Cougar Paint and Collision, the former NHLer. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Earlier this morning, the Toronto Maple Leafs announcing that Jim Hiller has been hired as the 41st head coach in franchise history. Hiller let go from the LA Kings back in March after spending parts of 3 seasons with the club. He also returns to Toronto, where he was an assistant coach for 4 years under Mike Babcock from 2015 to 2019. The NHL's first buyout window is currently open and expected to run through June 30th at 5 p.m. Just another date on the list of off-season calendars. Notes for the NHL qualifying offers for RFAs no later than June 29th at 5 o'clock. And, of course, free agency opening on July the 1st. It was a star-studded day at the World Cup and living up to expectations. Kylian Mbappe with a pair as France defeated Senegal 3-1. Erling Haaland in his first World Cup match had a brace as Norway defeated Iraq 4-1. And Lionel Messi, 3 goals in the 3-0 win for Argentina over Algeria. 16 all-time in the World Cup, moves them to a tie atop all-time marks. In the nightcap, Austria beat Jordan 3-1. In the majors yesterday, the Blue Jays take the opener over the Red Sox from Fenway 6-1. George Springer and David Schneider both homering in the victory. Dylan Cease, strong outing to pick up the victory. And elsewhere, Orioles fall to the Mariners 3-1. The Yankees run it up on the White Sox 12-2. And the Rays fall in the nightcap 1-0 at the hands of the Dodgers. Edmonton Riverhawks, they lose the opener in Wenatchee last night 5-4. They'll do it again tonight. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Dave Pagnotta from the 4th period, as well as our Wednesday co-host, former NHL defenseman David Schlemko. I'm Brandon Douglas. That's your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Cheers. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Looking for a truck that could handle anything Alberta throws your way? Wolf GMC Buick has the offers to get you behind the wheel. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 models. Plus, trade in an eligible 2015 or newer pickup and receive a $1,000 truck trade-in bonus on select Sierra models. Ask about bonus offers for heroes, students, recent graduates, and more. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Just in time for the big game, score big savings at the Brick. Save up to $1,300 off sofas, up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages, plus save up to 40% on select mattresses. And buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. Watch Team Canada score big on a big screen TV, up to 50% off open box electronics. See store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Soccer? June's biggest event is happening right here at Metal Supermarkets. The Big Bin Sale is back. Everything in the off-cut bins, 30% off. A wide assortment of miscellaneous metal priced to clear. Just in time for your next DIY project. But hurry, it's selling faster than a guy kicking a ball on the grass to another guy. And, forget it. When's hockey season start anyhow? Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at bashawconcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. bashawconcrete.com.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Area Adjusted and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
Hey, welcome back to the big program, 9:04 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on a Wednesday morning. So glad you could spend some time with us here on Sports 1440. Wednesday, 9 bells means it's time to welcome in our co-host on Wednesdays, David Schlemko, powered by Cougar Paint and Collision, where family service and pride have earned customer trust for decades. Check them out at cougarcollision.com. Good morning, Schlemmer.
Morning, KK.
A little gray, a little cloudy.
Yeah.
Last night, you get some rain up in St. Albert? Or?
Sure did.
Yeah.
Been getting rain pretty much every day, bud.
Been one of those, spring is almost done here. What do we got, another week?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. If that. Is it the 4 days? Is that when it is, Duke? 4 days. Wow.
Definitely had the spring showers. Trying to fit in a little golf in there when you can, but
so are you back?
I'm back.
You're back, baby, and
yeah, a couple of rounds at the Glendale this past
boy.
week. Playing at the Sturgeon today with some colleagues.
Oh, great. You were listening. We had Keith Stewart on, and
I was listening.
Yeah, and I mean, Keith had a couple of picks for the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills. Hey, did you see there was a thing yesterday that came down, Schlemmer, about if you were a 15 handicap. So you're a lot better than this, a 15 handicap. But they interviewed pros that were coming on site from their vehicles.
Okay.
What would a 15 handicap shoot
A million?
At Shinnecock? A million, yeah. But most of them said around 120.
Okay.
And because they said, okay, black tees, back tees, the
Yeah.
whole bit. So you're not playing up front.
Right.
I think I told you that the guys that cover the Masters, the media guys get to go in a draw and get to play Monday.
That's pretty sweet.
Same pin placement, same everything except for forward tees.
Okay.
So they don't play where the pros played on the side.
That'd be so fun to get to do that. Hey,
Would be unreal.
I'd like to try and break 100.
Well, even like if you played Shinnecock Hills from the back tips, you think you could break 100?
I think it'd be tough.
Like
that's why basically.
Like if they're saying a 15
It's a
or
little
it's
better
120.
than double bogey golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be close, I think.
Like maybe there could be a par 3 where if I hit the green, but now if you don't hit
Now
the
you
green in
gotta-
the right spot,
You got to put it in the hole after. You've
Yeah.
seen some of the videos of these greens, man.
absolutely no gimmies, obviously. Even if you're
No.
put away, no gimme.
Like there's got to be a couple holes where you putt it off the green, probably.
Well, you saw
end up 4 or 5 putting.
Yeah. Remember Phil Mickelson?
Yeah.
From 2018?
Yeah.
I'll just take the 2-stroke penalty.
Right. Yeah, it's I like the US Open. I like seeing these guys that are unbelievable at golf
Mm-hmm.
kind of look a little bit human once in a while. It's nice to see them get frustrated, enjoy the game of golf the way the rest of us enjoy it.
Well, as Keith said, I mean, the course isn't going to be as tough as it's been in the past.
Yeah, I heard him mention that. Like they keep saying it on the live at the US Open. They don't want to lose the course this time. So that's been a pretty common theme. So hopefully we won't see an over par win. I mean, I know they want it to be a challenge, but you still like to see guys make some shots.
Yeah. I mean, make it a true test of golf, but don't beat them up to the point where they get off the course and they don't want to come back.
Yeah.
And that's how how it should be for regular golfers. And
that's how it is.
No. I mean, okay, like say, I think I golf with Murray McCord at the ranch, and you think about how the ranch has changed in the last 10 years.
Oh, how has it changed?
Oh, well, I don't know when you played it last, but if you think about how the high sweeping grass that they had all over the place, if you were off into the rough, say goodbye.
Okay.
Like now it's forgiving to the sense where you still have to challenge yourself and challenge what shot making ability you have, but it's not going to.
It's less penal.
It's not going to drive you nuts and go, okay, I just took a 10. I just took another 10. I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
I don't want to even play anywhere.
Right. I think there's a balance on like public golf courses, because then that makes me think of like the Quarry. You go to the Quarry and there's a fescue like 2 yards off the fairway. You hit a blind tee shot. You think you hit a great shot, and you get up there and you can't find your ball.
And that's what, and Murray, we discussed this and he talks about it too. You don't want to lose those. Like, don't make it a miserable day.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go and have fun here.
It's supposed to enjoy yourself out there for
like
4 hours.
You're not paying whatever $100 a round and saying, all right, like I just got taken behind the woodshed and some guy just pounded the snot out of me with a 9-iron.
Right.
And now I got to drive home. Like, I mean, you want to enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
So
and you are paying that. Like you're paying $120 to
Sure.
play anywhere decent now. I had a guy come to the Glendale last week, and I'm like, sorry, what's the guest rate now? And he goes, well, it's $120 to play at Sturgeon, so it doesn't really matter.
Well,
it's going to be better.
Yeah. Text 833-401-1440 just to get caught up on a few. We were talking about Brad Wawrinka. Do you know Brad Wawrinka at all? He's a local guy. He's from Two Hills. We had a couple texts saying, hey, the Friday Two Hills.
No, I don't
he was
know.
he's a little bit older than he's right in the middle between you and I think.
Okay.
Anyway, we were talking about Jim Hiller getting hired in Toronto. What do you think of that hire, first of all? Is that puzzling to you?
It's a little puzzling to me, yeah. he kind of strikes me as more of a guy for like a veteran team that's kind of almost ready to win, like almost like the Oilers, honestly. Maybe that's just taking from what I've seen in LA, but I don't know. The Toronto must know something we don't.
Well, he was there too. So he was there under Babcock for 4 years. Right? So there's that familiarity. And I mean, you think about Oiler players being involved in, and that's been well documented in who their next hire is here. I would be stunned if guys like Matthews or Nylander weren't asked from John Chayka about Hiller and the time that he spent there, because that's a while back here. That's almost a decade when he started.
Kind of the start of the last rebuild then.
Well, he would have got he left when Babcock got canned, right? So that's 2020.
Yeah.
So he was there in 2016. So, that's 10 years ago when these guys are just coming into the fray as far as Matthews goes.
Speaking of Babcock, I heard this one yesterday. Did you see the Aaron Ward story?
I don't know if I did. I remember Aaron Ward from Carolina.
Like tried to get him fired from TSN, I guess.
Babcock tried to get Ward fired.
Yeah, for making some comments about, or leaked something in Detroit that was true, I guess. And then Babcock tried to get him fired. And anyway, the reason I thought of it is you mentioned Hiller worked with him in Toronto, but they were saying that he was saying that the rest of his staff in Detroit, when they found out he was going to get canned, they were lined up fighting over who got to tell him. That's how much they hated him.
That's what Aaron Ward said.
Yeah.
I never saw that. I'll have to check that out. And Aaron Ward, he did get released from TSN, did he not?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. How long ago was that, Duke? Do you have
That's still a few years. I don't know if the two were related, but I saw the story you're talking about, Schlemmer. I saw that clip. I think he was on with a Senators podcast out of Ottawa.
Yeah.
I think talking with Jason York and maybe another former player. But anyway, I saw that. I don't think I think Ward got let go from TSN later for different reasons.
Okay.
But
anyway,
but he's
more ammunition.
Ward, he's still he does work with TSN radio in Montreal. So it's not exactly like it was completely cut ties. I think he just was no longer a main panelist on the desk in their other main coverage out of Toronto.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure plenty more details will be coming out of Toronto. I'm interested to see what guys like Matthews and Nylander have to say, though. Definitely.
Well, what I'm not understanding of this story, because Ward wasn't in Detroit when Babcock was there. So why would Babcock
Ward was working for TSN.
Ward was working
got
for
the
TSN.
information from someone in Detroit,
okay.
Then Ward reported it.
Oh.
Babcock was not happy. Reached out to TSN, said, "Hey, fire this guy." And what there was a report was true.
And then it turned out to be true. The next day.
Well, here's another one.
There's some more ammunition.
So the Oilers are the last team, Flammers, to not have a head coach.
After all of that.
So we talked about this last week, and I mean, I'm not beating the head. There's been nothing new except for the only thing that's new is the fact that this investigation is underway.
Yeah, just more speculation.
In the last week, okay, so you came on this show, and now you're out and about for a week. You talk to buddies, friends. Hey, congrats to your buddy Marty winning the Stanley Cup. We'll talk about that in a second. But what was the reaction when you talked to friends, buddies, whatever, around town in the last week?
It's all the same, honestly. And it's not just like former players, buddies I talk to. It's everybody just can't really wrap their head around why go down this avenue. You want someone hard. There's plenty of other options out there. It's a real head scratcher.
Yeah, I'm not understanding it.
You had to be in that room, I think, with the players and Babcock.
Did you get a chance to speak to Jordan Martinick?
I threw him a text the night they won it. I haven't heard back.
So was he cramping up there? I saw something. He's getting cramps and he's trying to pour the Stanley a bunch of booze on him or whatever.
Yeah.
He's drinking it or whatever. What happened there?
I don't know. Old Western boy shouldn't be cramping up, chugging beer out of the cup.
No, exactly. Well, those guys would be. Well, the bender continues. They have the parade tomorrow.
I think they're on a golf trip right now. I actually reached out to the Hurricanes about getting Marty on with Schlemmer. And their comms team very quick to get back to me. They're like, "Hey, Won't work out this time because they're jetting away for a quick little golf trip with the fellas, hoping to maybe circle back for next week to link up with Marty.
That's awesome. What a week that would be. I can't even imagine.
No, and I mean, their team is so set up. I mean, if you looked at their roster, yeah, and I mean for contracts, for everything.
Yeah.
The one thing I still can't believe, the best line in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the best line, Stankoven, Hall, Blake.
Right. I mean,
they're locked up, Schlemmer, for the next 2 years. Those three guys together,
yeah,
for $14.2 million.
And like Slavin's making like 6.3 or something for the next like 7 years. Like this, Tulski, he's done a job, man.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a post the other day with all the moves he's made since like 24, and it's pretty impressive.
Well, and it's again, the terminology might be incorrect, but with Rantanen, maybe it was a blessing in disguise because he comes in there. Now he's going to be making $3 million more. What? No, he'd be making $5 million more than Jarvis, $3 million more than Aho, 4 or 5 than Svechnikov. Sometimes, everything's just good. Like you look in that room right now and you look around, okay, well, that guy's making $1 million more than me. I can handle that.
Yeah.
This guy over here, he's making $6 more than I
yeah, there could be something to that. Yeah.
Yeah, little things.
And that just kind of becomes the culture too, right? I think Rod obviously has a lot to do with that, but guys are willing to buy in and take a little less and, go try to win some cups.
Yeah.
It's kind of contagious.
When we come back, Dave Pagnotta from the fourth period will check in. We'll talk Jim Hiller. We'll talk Oilers. We talked about the buyout situation. Starts today. Jesper Kotkaniemi is, as Duke said, the number one candidate only because of how the buyout works. But that and more with Dave Pagnotta coming up. Kevin Karius, David Schlemko, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal's only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Lux Windows was founded in 1969 with 5 people and a dream. 55 years later, our team of experts cares a whole lot about building and installing the best possible windows and doors. Because Lux is not just an Alberta-made product. We're one big Alberta-made family. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:21 in Edmonton. And time now for the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And at Fountain Tire, we focus on one thing and one thing only, your vehicle. We can meet all your car needs and more with our digital vehicle report. We just don't tell you what your car needs. We show you. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com. Today, as we welcome back Dave Pagnotta, Dave Pagnotta from the fourth period. Good morning, Dave. You're with Kevin Karius and the former NHLer, David Schlemko. As always,
how's it going, boys?
Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. How's it going?
Well, doing great out here, Dave. So what do you make? Jim Hiller, new head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I tell you what, I give the Leafs a lot of credit going back to their GM search. A lot of misdirection out there in that search and the coaching search. Yeah, I mean, John Chaika, their GM, indicated that, hey, we've spoken to 55 guys and we're going to narrow things down. Well, Jim Hiller, one of them, they put a lid on things quite nicely here. And you know, I know Jim from LA and analytically driven head coach, players type of coach, kind of the 1-3-1 system in LA probably won't fly in Toronto, but that was, I think, more of him kind of utilizing his resources to the best of his capabilities to give them a chance at competing. I suspect a different structure in Toronto, but he fits the mold of what Chaika and Sundin seem to be putting together in Toronto. So I guess not overly shocked that that's the type of coach they brought in. Just we really had no word that it was going to be Jim Hiller himself until just before 9 a.m. Eastern this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little surprising to me. What do you think makes him a player's coach? And I guess if not the 1-3-1, what kind of attack do you see him running in Toronto?
Yeah, he had a lot of good relationships in LA, even in Toronto, even on Long Island when he was with the Islanders as an assistant. Also, just a guy that gets along with a lot of his guys, has an open door kind of policy. If you want to talk about something, let's talk about it, hash it out. You may not like my answer, but at least we're going to have a discussion about it, not afraid to hide from it. And he kind of has thrived on that and having good relationships and open relationships with his players, which I think is important, certainly. As for the type of system, I think I mean, I'm sure they've relayed the type of system that they want to implement. Now, I know a lot of people, at least in Toronto, are going, well, they were so defensive focused in LA. How the hell is that going to work in Toronto when the whole mindset has been we need to be more mobile from the back end out, create more offense from the back end out? I think it was, again, more situational in LA because he didn't have necessarily all the weapons offensively that he would have liked to implement a more offensively structured tactic. I think in Toronto with Matthews and Nyes and Nylander and Tavares doing well, and you've got the young Cowan and whatever moves they're going to end up making to help supplement the rest of that top six, and then the likelihood of Gavin McKenna coming in with the first overall pick gives them more offense to kind of work with. And I think it'll be more structured in that sense. I'm not sure specifically on the type of system that he's going to implement just yet, but we know that they want to be more run and gun, more offensive driven. Mm-hmm. And I've got to imagine that that's something that he's going to, or he convinced them of anyway, that he'd be able to implement. Remember, when things also went bad in Toronto, in LA on their special teams, Jim Hiller stepped in and took over the power play, which is something he did in Toronto back in when he was an assistant there too. He stepped in and started to slowly get the PP going again. So he does have those in his arsenal. It's just a matter of, how's the rest of this roster going to look in Toronto before we fully understand what our system is going to look like.
Yeah, Dave Pagnotta with us from the fourth period. Kevin Karius, David Schlemko with you here on a Wednesday morning. I can tell you, I've known Jimmy a long time, Dave, and he will be implementing a strategy there and a system where it is aggressive, where it is attacking, and that is what he's going to do with this hockey club. There's no doubt in my mind about that. When you say about the roster and the trade that was made yesterday, were you surprised at that trade? And is it just all about moving cap space and getting some cash out here, Dave?
I think it's a few things. It's they free up a lot of cap space. Earson either is not going to get qualified, or if he is, he's going to be probably moving on somewhere else. Andrea, they like, and he fits the mold, a puck mover. He's not your offensive type of guy. He's not going to put you 50, 60, 70 points. But he is a puck mover. He's not afraid to get out of the trouble areas. He's not afraid to get out of the zone and move that puck up the ice. That's what they want. So this is kind of an indicator as to the direction they plan on going in, at least in the back end. He may be a third pair guy. He may bounce up and down from the A, to the Leafs, but he's a type of player that they're looking to bring in on that back end. So I'm expecting more on that front. On Philly's side, they had interest in Joseph Woll going back into the season when Brad Treliving was GM of Toronto. So for them to circle back with the new regime is not surprising because they've been eyeing him for a while. Benoit helps them get a little bit edgier to a degree on defense. He's not, your most physical type guy, but he's a strong third pair defenseman at only 1.35, and Philly wanted to bolster their blue line and deepen it. And I think the move works out for them. It works out for Toronto for a number of different, reasons, and cap being one, mobility on the back end being another, and they gain another draft pick. Their cupboard isn't full in that department. So now they've got 2 third-round picks to work with this summer or this month.
Yeah.
So, I guess kind of minor trade in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
Hearing we're exploring at least a Morgan Riley trade, though he hasn't waived his no-move clause. It sounds like we're kind of exploring what's out there for Matthew Nyes. Do you think there's anything to this?
On the Riley front, yes. The message that, on my understanding, the message that was relayed to the Leafs was, okay, here are a few options that we like right out of the gate. Not full clearance to sign off on it yet, but if you go in this direction, here are some options on our end. Here's what we're not thinking. And if you have others that come to you, we're going to deal with this on a case-by-case basis. So if the Ducks come at him and say, we've got an offer and the Leafs like it, they'll circle to Morgan and say, we've got an opportunity here to send you to Anaheim, for example, or San Jose or Seattle or wherever. But it'll be case by case. And, he'll then make a decision at that point if that's where he wants to go. But what's clear is that the Leafs are exploring this. They are going to be looking to move Morgan Riley out. It may not happen because it obviously takes 2 to tango here, but without question, Morgan Riley is available. Matthew Nyes, not nearly in the same boat as Morgan Riley. This is more of an exploratory, hey, if you're willing to overpay for this guy, we'll listen. Otherwise, forget about it. I don't think they have an appetite to move him. Not unless, again, there's a, offer we can't refuse type of scenario. Then beyond that, I think Matthew Nyes stays. There was that trade with Montreal that didn't happen at the deadline. I've got to imagine the Habs have it or will circle back and have those discussions, but it would have to be a little bit different if we get there. I think the package overall made sense for the Leafs, and from a long-term side, I don't mind it at all. But I think that with Chayka and Sundin now in the mix, I think they'd be looking in a different direction with respect to that type of package. But we'll see if anybody steps up. If they don't, Toronto's more than happy to keep them.
Right. Dave Pagnotta with us from the fourth period. Kevin Karius, David Schlemko with you here on Sports 1440. Regarding the number 1 overall pick here, Dave, would you say they're leaning towards one more or the other in McKenna over Stenberg, or do they do something crazy? What do you think?
Talking to a few teams, it seemed like the message to McKenna from the Leafs was, we're taking you. So prepare yourself. And that's that's what I'm expecting based on just talking to a few other teams that interviewed with McKenna as well. It seems like the Leafs relayed the message that they're going to take him at 1. So unless something dramatic happens over the next 2 weeks, I'm not expecting them to deviate from that. I know people were making a little joke yesterday that, okay, the Leafs bring in 2 Swedes. It's a Sundin effect. Maybe they're going to swap out and go to Stenberg. But I think that's just people either joking around or trying to connect dots here or something. But I don't think there's anything to it. I think McKenna's their guy. I think the message has been relayed, and it'll all be official in 2 Fridays from now.
Yeah, you betcha.
Now, what do you think happens with Austin Matthews when McKenna comes in here? Like, he could either, they could be an unbelievable duo and, Matthews kind of reignites his career, or do you think this is kind of makes it easier to push Matthews out at the end of this deal with McKenna coming in?
I think it's a good buffer because if things don't go well in Toronto, at least, hey, you've got another number 1 and you can move out, Austin at that point if they don't make any progress. But I think the goal is to get those guys well acquainted, get them well connected, and presumably with Nyes on the other wing, you've got a first line that's going to do some damage for quite some time. And and the other thing too is Austin, when he was drafted 1st overall, it was in Buffalo. There's a connection there with 2 first overall guys. He can kind of mentor McKenna as to what it's like being a 1st overall pick in a market like Toronto, in a big city like that. Like there's a lot of benefits off the ice that also factor in here. And I think the mandate, and Keith Pelly, the president of MLS, he kind of indicated this back in May when he had a press conference after they let Treliving go, was that the goal is to compete. The goal is to make the playoffs next year and build off that. And I think that's what they're putting together now, the plan in place. Now that they've got their coach, they made their first, quasi-minor move, free up money. Where's that money going? What other moves are coming down the pike? Like, there's a lot of different stuff that's going to happen with this team that I think is going to convince a lot of people in that room that these guys are getting back on track in short order. And we'll see what some of the other moves are. But, with McKenna and Matthews kind of together, I think the hope is you build that chemistry right away and on and off the ice, and it benefits this team in both facets.
Mm-hmm. Dave Pagnotta with us on Sports 1440. With the Edmonton Oilers here, Dave, how long do you think this NHL investigation with the PA will be ongoing regarding Mike Babcock and what happened in Columbus? And is it going to take a while? And do you think that no matter what or whatever happens, do you think the chances are still pretty good that Babcock is the new head coach of the Edmonton Oilers?
I don't think the Oilers and Babs are going through this process unless he's the guy. And at the same time, the league is not investigating this unless the Oilers have said we want to hire him. Mm-hmm. So, every indication that I've been given is he's their guy, assuming the league signs off. And with respect to timeline, I asked a couple people in the league yesterday if there is one, and they just said, look, no, we're not trying to not give you an answer. It's just however long it takes is however long it takes. Now, there are some people who believe it's not going to be done. This is going to be lengthy. This isn't going to take months. This is probably going to take, another several days here. But the other indicator I got last night was the belief. Some people within the Oilers believe that it's going to happen. They're preparing for it. It's going to happen in somewhat short order. Whether it takes another week or 2 or less or somewhere in between. It seems like the Oilers are prepping for that, or at least some people within the organization are. And I've got to imagine that that's the direction that they're going in. Vegas has not given permission for Cassidy. If you want to wait even longer and try to go Tort's direction, you're not going to be able to talk to him until July 1 anyway. I don't think they want to wait anymore. I think the indicator here is Babs is our guy, pending league approval, and now let's focus on other elements of this club.
So just hypothetically, I guess, what happens if the investigation goes down and they say you can't hire this guy? We don't want him in the league. Like, is that just a PR nightmare? How do they recover from that?
It's a really good question, because it is a possibility. Like, there's no guarantees the league is going to say, yeah, we're good with what we've come up with and he can come back. It's still a possibility that they say no. Now, there are people who believe it's going to go through. But if they uncover more and they just say, nah, this is not going to happen, then yeah, this is more sort of egg. I mean, this is egg on their face. Like, I don't put that in the Cassidy thing, because, I mean, they need the permission. It got out. They tried to, flex a little bit to kind of provoke or push Vegas into doing it. Vegas doesn't care. Kelly McCrimmon doesn't care. So it's like, whatever, I'll just, you know what? Now you get him. Now you don't get him at all. Now you have to wait till his contract is up. Yeah. So I don't see that as like an egg on the face PR, like having to save face kind of situation. This one, yes. If this turns out to be a scenario where the league says no, because again, like, there has to be confidence in Edmonton's side that this is going to pass. That there's got to be enough with that the players and management and everybody that spoke to Mike, to Babcock, that there was a strong enough level of transparency and that was there that convinced the entire organization that this is the guy, and that, assuming everything he said, and he was fully transparent, I guess we'll find out how transparent, but if he was fully transparent, then there shouldn't be anything from the league that's going to block this from happening. Mm-hmm. If it does go in that direction, then that's a bit of a, oh crap. We gotta a news team assemble. We gotta figure this out here, because we gotta fix this quick. I don't think it's gonna get there, but it's entirely possible, because if somebody comes out of the woodwork with another crazy story, that's gonna derail things most likely.
So, as you said, Dave, I mean, the Cassidy and the Babcock situations are entirely different. But when you make your calls and you talk to people across the league, what's the perception of the Oilers organization here in the last month or so from across the league, from the people you talk to?
Desperation. Quite frankly, it's kind of what it is. Like the differentiator between Edmonton and Toronto right now is Toronto needs to make the playoffs and improve and go from there. Edmonton, we need to win now. Like, this isn't let's make the playoffs and get to the cup final. Let's not get to a Stanley Cup final and lose in 5. This is you win the Stanley Cup. That's the mentality. Yeah. And then that's from Daryl Cates down. Like, it's all the way up top. So you're going to do whatever you can to try to win next season. This isn't win in 5 years. This is win next season. Mm-hmm. And if Babs is the guy to do that, along with whatever roster changes are going to come in, because there's a ton that need to happen, then you win, and it's okay, so be it. Like Vegas, I'll use that as an example. Like, Bruce Cassidy does not have the best reputation among players. With the stuff that went down in Boston, the stuff that happened over his tenure in Vegas, even when they won, like, there is one player on that team that won that wants nothing to do with Bruce Cassidy, even though they won. And that happens throughout the league, right? Like, you're not going to get along with everybody, but he's the type of guy that's going to come in and say, we're doing this my way. I don't give a crap if you're crying about it or not. We're going to win. They win, and you can justify it. But that wears on guys after a while. So, and people know this. So from Edmonton's side, we're bringing in somebody who may be a hard ass regardless, but we're doing this because we want to win. If you win, fine. You deal with whatever repercussions happen afterwards. And if you got to pay extra, you pay extra by firing guys and this, that, and the other. The ends justify the means is kind of the mentality. But again, regardless of who the head coach is, whether it's Babcock or if it doesn't happen, Torts or whomever, one of us, it won't matter until the rest of that roster is put together. Mm-hmm. Because again, a lot of holes, there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. There's a lot of things they want to do. Let's see what happens over the next 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks. and let's see how this formation kind of comes together before we really determine whether this next season is going to be legit or not.
Mm-hmm. David, thanks so much for your insight. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the next couple of weeks. It's going to be busy with everything coming up in the draft. As always, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it, man.
You got it, guys. Thanks for having me.
That's Dave Pagnotta from the Fourth Period. And our Puck Report brought to you by Fountain Tire. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com today. Just the Oilers' whole situation against Schlemmer. And to be honest with you, I don't even care who's coach anymore. I don't even care about who's coaching, and I don't. Because if you listen to what Dave said and you listen about everything else, and the phrase and the terminology that I gave this team this last year, they're switch flickers. They think that they can bring in a coach, flick the switch.
Yeah.
Flick the switch. Oh, that's the difference. That's what we needed.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. You know that.
No, it doesn't. I mean, what I got out of that is the desperation, right? Yeah. Obviously, Stan Bowman is desperate. I've said, like, it doesn't surprise me that Stan Bowman would want to hire Mike Babcock. Like, if you go back like a year, even further than a year, and look at some of these bad moves that he's made, of course he's going to be desperate. Now, are we not a little bit worried about this management right now is kind of holding all the cards and so desperate, and you got to look to the future a little bit and be a little bit worried.
There are a lot of things that are going to happen here in the next couple of weeks. There's no question about that. You think about Darnell Nurse, and we haven't even discussed that. We'll probably do that after the break and get your thoughts. Out of all our co-hosts, you're as hard as anyone on the defenseman, whether it be Bush, whether it be Nurse, but you also bring up good points too, because they all have good points. They all have some warts in their game too. So maybe we'll talk about that because we haven't discussed it yet with David Schlemko when we come back on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Looking for auto repair with something extra? Cougar Paint and Collision is ready to help.
We don't always work on your everyday cars. Lots of times there's stuff that's out of the ordinary. You know, it feels good when people phone and they ask for advice on what's the best way to do something, or even if they stop in just even to see if their car's worth fixing or not. Giving them advice and help along the way on how to fix their cars, kind of good.
Cougar Paint and Collision, our family helping your family.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca. Tee up at the 2026 Golfathon presented by Popeye Supplements June 19th at Rundle Park, supporting the University Hospital Foundation. Play 1, 2, 3, even 4 rounds of golf. GoTrackSocialClub.com.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
You've hauled lumber down rocky trails to build an off-grid cabin. But today, that powerful turbocharged engine just needs to bring home a new dollhouse. Toyota Tacoma, reliable power for important deliveries. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2026 Tacoma 4x4 double cab SR5 from $110 weekly for 60 months at 5.69% APR with $7,099 down. Hybrid available. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Get ready, outdoor enthusiasts, for the Kalmar Gun Show. Head to the Kalmar Hockey Arena Friday 3 till 8, Saturday 10 till 6, Sunday 10 till 3 for the premier event to buy, sell, and trade the best in hunting and sporting gear. Visit huntmaniashows.com.
Your game, your station. Sports 1440.
And watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:45 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, David Schlemko, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on a Wednesday morning. Of course, Schlemmer's powered by Cougar Paint and Collision. You know what? We're a family service and pride of earned customer trust for decades. Check them out at cougarcollision.com. We're going to talk a little bit about Darnell Nurse momentarily and what Schlemmer thinks about landing spots, returns, the whole bit, what kind of player he is right now, where he's got what he's got left in the hopper, things like that. But let's do a little in or out action first, brought to you by Pro Solutions. If you need fast air conditioning service, Pro Solutions offers expert repairs, tune-ups, even installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Duke, let her buck.
The NHL's offseason calendar rolling on. Today, the league's buyout window opens up. Qualifying offer for RFAs is June 29th. Of course, the NHL entry draft going next weekend from Buffalo. Our friend over at Daily Faceoff, Matt Larkin, put out a recent piece outlining 9 most likely targets of potential offer sheets. These, of course, being restricted free agents that would qualify for it. And of his list, and if you want to expand beyond it, I mean, of course, feel free. But I think Maverick Bourque out of Dallas tees up as the most likely potential target.
Interesting. I'm looking at your list here, Duke. Sorry, I'm not the best cap guy here. I think you'd have to have some knowledge of every team's cap situation to probably pick the best candidate here. I mean, I'm looking at Dorofeyev. Obviously, I think he's the best player on here, but I don't think Vegas is letting him go. I don't think Anaheim is letting Mintyukov go.
What if someone offers, into that realm where Vegas goes, we can't afford him. There's no room for him.
But if you're that team, is Dorofeyev worth 4 first-round picks?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he go to the top of level 2, though, Duke?
Maybe.
I mean, just thinking of Dallas and all the contracts they have, it does seem like the most likely one to me.
What was Bourque's? What's he at, Duke? What was his? He's basically into the next, like after his ELC, correct?
Yeah, that's right. This will be his first post ELC deal.
So looking like Dallas has just over $10 million in cap space. Still got to re-sign Robertson. Yeah, they might be in a little bit of trouble there.
I think a lot of what hinges for Dallas is the Tyler Seguin situation. And is he going to play again? Is it going to be in Dallas? Because that $9.85 million final year looms pretty large all of a sudden when you're going to need to pay Robertson. I would think probably
more than that,
$12 to $14 million.
You're looking at a Petrangelo thing here.
You look at it going. Well, I think it's possible, and I haven't heard. The only update I saw from Seguin on his injury front was, I don't know if it was during the playoffs or maybe just before, he'd sat down and took some questions and they asked him about the recovery process and trusting the knee again and that type of thing. And he said, I'll let you know when I get there. So it wasn't clearly moving along. Like he wasn't close to returning or anything like that. And I'm not necessarily saying that the timeline was halted at that front, but he's only 34, but this is a guy that's went through a few different injuries in his career he's been playing since he was 18, obviously in Boston. And if he does come back, he's got a full no movement clause. Is there any way he'd be willing to waive it for his final year of this deal? Because like I said, almost $10 million tied up in a guy that doesn't produce at a $10 million player level anymore.
Is there any LTIR possibility?
Well, that's what I'm kind of thinking. I think that would be
the dominoes have to fall.
Route number one for Dallas would just be do LTIR him, and then you have that money freed up and you move forward. But then if he's healthy and able to play, then I think you have to go to him and say, hey, we're between a rock and a hard place. It's 1 year. You're going to be leaving next year anyway. If you want to keep playing, are you willing to waive it? And they move him out that way.
I kind of see that ending up happening. Like you said, he's only 34 years old. I played with Segi in Dallas. He's very much a professional. He takes great care of himself. I think he does like the cryo chamber, like every game day. Like he's a little bit of a psycho in that sense. So I would not be surprised at all if he comes back and, wants to play, even if it's somewhere else.
And so basically it's the Robertson situation looming, and Sagan ties into that. Why I think Bork, this is a burgeoning player. Is there a team that's willing to take a chance on him a la Dylan Holloway, where it's not all you haven't fully seen him blossom like say a Dorofeyev has, so the money isn't going to be crazy high, but Dallas is so tight against it that I don't think you have to push too far into the compensation range to make them at least consider letting him walk away.
Yeah, good point.
I'll tell you what, it just everything that Bork is, and he's even ahead of Holloway, I think, no?
At this stage, I think that's fair to say.
I think, I mean, he had 20 goals last year.
He's ahead of Holloway?
When Holloway was offer sheeted.
Okay, got you.
Bork's a little ahead of Holloway. I think he is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Played all 82 games, and that's a big thing. Holloway had some injuries. So
I don't think he has the ceiling Holloway has, though.
Well, the size and speed
I don't
factor.
know, man. I mean,
personally.
But Bork, he's a former AHL scoring champion, MVP of the American League too, and then it's been a little bit it was not an immediate success in the NHL, but 13 goals, 26 points in his final 34 regular season games this year.
I'm going to be in Duke, but I think he goes in the next tier. I think he goes in the Broberg tier.
Really?
Oh yeah, price point wise, I think that if you're interested, you have to take that gamble and push the envelope to put the pressure on the Stars. Otherwise, they'll match it. And because I think the Oilers serve as a learning lesson for some of these other teams where you match and figure out how to make it work after the fact.
When you look at the list, Duke, again, when you look at the list of players being offered and the sheets, and you look at the bottom of the list, the last two guys, it almost makes you want to cry with Broberg and Holloway on there. And then you see the compensation, a second round pick and a third round pick.
Yeah.
It is just,
I mean, it couldn't have worked out any better for the Blues.
Yeah, but it's inexcusable from an organizational standpoint of managing your assets. Inexcusable.
I don't know.
Everyone else, the only one that was the Penner one is the only one that hasn't been matched.
So funny.
Besides Kotkaniemi, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because Carolina.
It was a 1 year.
It was like a payback thing, and it was a 1 year large deal.
I was in Montreal when that happened.
Oh yeah. So they got a first and a third in the Kotkaniemi because it was
they wanted
6.1.
They wanted all so bad.
It was spite. It was purely spite that Carolina gave up essentially a first and third round pick.
And again, the whole thing was 2 years prior, and that was 5 by 8.5.
Yeah.
But again, you see all the everything's matched. Penner was a first, second, and third, and then you see with the compensation returning a second and a third for Broberg and Holloway. It's just
it's a little crazy. I don't see Bork.
I see Broberg one level higher than
you think so?
In order for a team to if Dallas is hoping someone does something like the Oilers, like the Blues did to the Oilers and Holloway. Dallas would love that.
Yeah.
But if you go to the same level at where Holloway was, or where Broberg was.
You're like $4.7 million essentially is what you're talking about, because that's the top of that round.
If you go
second round pick compensation.
Do it at 4.7 and offer him whatever. Now Dallas is going, now we're in trouble. They're not in trouble if someone offers him what the Blues offered Holloway
Holloway.
at 2.3.
No, there's no chance.
I just feel like Bork, he's a high skill guy that he might have trouble getting in a top 6 role, and maybe he doesn't fit anywhere else. Whereas Holloway still like big, strong skates, can get in the forecheck. He could play up and down the lineup, whether he's scoring or not. So I don't know. For me, if I'd go higher than that Holloway.
Every year we talk about the RFAs and usually get no action on it, right? Everything goes by the wayside. But all of a sudden, this Holloway Broberg thing from a couple summers ago, actually, I think it changes it and how people look around, especially with there's a long list of quality players that are potentially up for grabs.
Like Jim Nill's going, oh man, we're in trouble here.
I think if you're Jim Nill, you are working as quickly as possible to get Robertson signed, so then you can figure out how much money you have left or what else you need to do to keep Bork in the fold, because he's a bit like when you move on. They basically chose between Bork and Stankoven in that Carolina deal, and I think the story was Carolina wanted Stankoven more than Bork. Obviously paid off for them in pretty decent numbers.
The Oilers thought they could sign both Broberg and Holloway at half of what the offer sheet was.
Yeah.
Ballpark.
Whoops.
Out in Toronto, the Maple Leafs have hired Jim Hiller as the team's 41st head coach in franchise history. The average tenure of an NHL head coach gig going into this past season, so I don't know if it's changed slightly with some of the changes this year, is 2.38 years. Less than 2.5 years is the average, call it, lifespan of a coach behind an NHL bench in the head job. I'm hoping for him to have success. Like, he's an old buddy of yours, Kev. I think he's a good guy. He's got some quality ass. I just think in Toronto, the situation that this team is at, I think his tenure will further shrink that number. I don't think he makes it to 2.38 years with the Maple Leafs.
Well, everything depends on Austin Matthews, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a really tough call.
Yeah, if Matthews signs long, like an extension, then obviously it helps. But I mean, if that's the average, that's the I mean, you think about it, he's going to have to, well, first they got to make the playoffs. They got to win a round for him to even be thought of as looking at year 2 here.
So by the end of year 2, you think he's got to win a playoff round?
Oh no, they got to make the playoffs and they got to win a round, one round for sure.
Yeah. By the end of year 1 or 2?
By year one. By year 1.
Really? I think that's going to be tough to do with the squad he's got. What Berube just had what, 2 years?
Yep.
2 years that he was out. I think they're going to be a little bit more patient with Hiller. I think the Leafs are in a little different situation than they were a couple of years ago. I'm going to give him 3. Maybe nothing past 3, but I'm going to give him 3.
Maybe he gets fired in month 3 or 4 of season 3, and Duke's bang on at 2.38.
Totally possible.
Yeah, interesting. And of course, leaving the Oilers, as we've discussed all morning, as the now lone team without a head coach. Predators, new GM Chris McFarland announcing yesterday that Andrew Burnett and his staff will be back. So it's pretty lonely in the vacancy department right now for the Edmonton Oilers. News yesterday, Hockey Night in Canada, as we know it on CBC, is at its end. Of course, hockey coverage will continue to exist, and Hockey Night in Canada will continue to exist, but exclusively now on Rogers Sportsnet. In reflection of this great run that the programming had on our national broadcaster, I like, there's been, the names are endless between former players, analysts, broadcasters, you name it. I'm sorry, I think the best personality that has ever graced the desk was and still is Don Cherry.
In 100%. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. The Hockey Night in Canada thing to me, that was the last reason to watch the propaganda channel of the Liberal Party. But I mean, Don, it's still kind of stings the way he was pushed out. I would love if they had him back.
Well, we talked about it earlier. There's only one person in basically the broadcast history where people stopped talking to listen to, or you didn't go and whatever, have a shower, have a bath, go cut the lawn, whatever you want to talk about it in the intermission. Now people leave TV and watch something else or do something else for the intermission. They don't hang around for the intermissions like it was must see every first period after the first game on Saturday night. It was that simple.
It was pure entertainment. Didn't even have to do with the hockey. You just wanted to hear what he was going to say.
Yeah.
And Cherry's end of his time, the way it ended was very unceremonious, and I'm in agreement that it wasn't right. But can we, with the understanding of hindsight, go back? It's like it was time for him to be done anyway. Like at his age and the way his analysis and what he talked about had kind of progressed, that it was the end of the road for him at that stage. The way he was set aside was not correct, 100%. But everybody hits the end of the road eventually, and you retire and you move on. I think Cherry was probably there, but as a kid, there was nothing better. And he'd been on a long time before I started watching, and obviously right until the end there. And then you factor that in with the Rock'em Sock'em DVDs, watching them in the minivan on the way to your road game in Viking or something, and get everybody hyped up in the van. Awesome, great personality, and that's my biggest. It's the main thing I think of when I think of Hockey Night in Canada is Don Cherry.
Well put.
So, the U.S. Open teeing off tomorrow morning from Shinnecock Hills in New York. Last time at the venue, Brooks Koepka shot a +1 to win a second straight U.S. Open. Previous time around, that was just under par. Prior to that, I believe, was even, if I'm scrolling back and reading things correctly. -4 in 2004 won it, and then in even par in 1995, the last couple results in New York. I think we're going to see the same type of trend. I've checked the weather. Wind is, as expected, going to be up and moving around. I think we see a plus score win the major this weekend.
I'm going to be out. I'm going to ride with Keith Stewart, man. He says, they haven't junked it up as much. Yes, conditions are going to be tough. Weather's going to be tough. 3 players in history, Retief Goosen, Phil Mickelson, Raymond Floyd, the only 3 in the history of Shinnecock to finish under par since this tournament's been played there. Don't count all the guys that in 1896.
Really?
Yeah, only 3 guys to finish under par.
That's impressive. Well, I already said I don't want to see an over par score win, so I'm going to be out as well. I think it'll be 3-4 under. That's
really?
That's what I'm hoping to see.
I'm going to go right there, 2-3, whatever.
I don't know. The players have gotten so good, and it's like, and the total field of good players is as large as it's ever been. Like guys that can win the majors, we know this to be true. But conditions and things like that you can't really control and are really tough to factor into how you play. I think like those are elements that, as good as the players get, you can't really overcome.
For sure. Like there's going to be guys that are just miserable out there. You're going to see the guys that get off the course and come and just rip the USGA for 5 minutes straight. But there's also going to be, 5-6 guys that just hit fire.
And so we'll see guys shoot rounds under par. But if even the guy who wins, will he have one outing where, like, in whether it be round 2 or 3, whatever day the wind is the highest, where he blows up and somehow still wins the major, but ends up finishing +1. I can very much see that. I very much see that happening. And just listen, forecast change, but I checked it in Shinnecock this morning, and it's expected to be quite windy all weekend long.
Hard too.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it. We're always going to make our picks here before the show is out for our major pool and who is footing the bill for the next outing at the Castle for some quality Chinese food. Lastly, today is National Stewart's Root Beer Day. A brand of root beer that I was not previously aware of. Maybe it only exists south of the border or just has not crossed my path. But the best root beer that you can have, the best available, I'm taking the classic A&W, and it the caveat being has to be sitting down in the frosted mug.
Yeah, hard to argue with that one, Duke. You ever seen Stewart's root beer?
Is it common?
I think so. Yeah,
I've never.
Like the glass bottle doesn't even have like a label. It's just kind of like etched into the glass.
I've definitely never had it. If I have in fact seen it and don't remember, I've never drank it.
But I'm in with you. I love the classic A&W root beer in the frosted mug. Can't go wrong.
Well, think about how it tastes so much better in that mug. Like when you get it in the for takeout or whatever, with the straw and the
terrible.
It's awful. It doesn't even taste like it. But when you get it in that icy cold mug. Remember the little baby root beer mugs, Duke? Did you steal them too when you were a kid? On the
I did too. Did I personally steal them? I can't recall, but there definitely was some, and there was full size A&W mugs in our kitchen cabinet. The only thing I stole from restaurants, and this was my my coach and best friend's dad, when we'd like stop at Boston Pizza after hockey or something, the Pilsner glasses, like the old style Pilsner that had the rabbit on the bottom of them, he'd always want me to like he'd tell me to steal them so he could take them home and put them in his cupboard.
Yeah.
Shout out Chance Smart.
I love A&W though, and it's a throwback. You know, you go in there for breakfast, like the people are so nice. And I don't know, it's like going back in time.
I could eat like 1,000 of those A&W onion rings.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're good. I
I
love
haven't had them for
A&W.
so long. I'm going to get some today.
Have you tried the new Smash Burger?
No, it's good too.
It's pretty decent.
Really? Man, kind of getting hungry.
But and because there's lots of other options, and I think more now than ever because like craft soda and stuff has become. I hear that dads.
Oh, the craft soda is out of control, man. I got 2.
Oh, like
daughters
you're talking
with
the dirty sodas.
Oh, the dirty sodas.
The dirty sodas, yeah, that's crazy. It's everywhere. But even like, you know how like we have the craft beer, like smaller independent, like these independent type people that make cream sodas and root beer and cola and all this stuff. I think it's more common, maybe not than ever because of the start of soda. I'm sure there was plenty of people, but like the dads, and I don't think this necessarily qualifies, but dad is like the red and blue label, if I recall correctly. A lot of people say that that's the tops. I think it's good, but it doesn't compare to the frosted mug.
A lot of people are saying Barg's root beer.
Barks.
They used to have the good commercials.
Barks, Mug, Dad's.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Crush doesn't make a root beer because they just have the cream soda and everything. I guess Mug would be that parent company. I think it's PepsiCo. But.
I'm going to get I might even go in to have the frosted mug of A&W and onion rings.
Oh, you're all set for lunch.
Good stuff, Duke. That's In or Out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. Check them out at prosolutionsinc.ca for all your AC services. When we come back, we will talk a little bit about maybe some Darnell Nurse quickly before we get to Jordan Hall from NBCS. Covers the Philadelphia Flyers. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by All-Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunications, and street lighting. That's All-Star Construction. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
World Cup action today. The star-studded affairs continue, starting with Ronaldo and Portugal taking on the Domestic Republic of the Congo at 11 o'clock. At 2, England playing Croatia, Ghana up against Panama, and Uzbekistan and Colombia rounded out tonight in Mexico City. In case you missed it earlier this morning, Jim Hillert named the new head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hillert returning to Toronto, where he spent 4 seasons as an assistant under Mike Babcock from 2015 to 2019. Full slate of games in the majors today, including the Blue Jays continuing their set at Fenway Park against the Red Sox. Max Scherzer expected to start for Toronto. First pitch, 4:45. Catch that game right here on Sports 1440, joined in progress at the conclusion of the Jason Greger Show. Elsewhere, continuation of yesterday's rained-out affair in Atlanta with the Braves and Giants continuing in the bottom of the second. Currently, Giants lead Braves 3-2. Elsewhere, Rays play the Dodgers in that series finale, and the Orioles are in Seattle for the nightcap. Edmonton Riverhawks game 2 of 3 in Wenatchee against the Apple Sox tonight at 7:30. And the Edmonton Stingers at home this evening from the Edmonton Expo Center taking on Montreal. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Jordan Hall from MSC Sports in Philadelphia covering the Flyers. I'm Brandon Douglas, Sector Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Mr. Rooter buries evidence in the desert.
I didn't mean to do it. I was forced into it. Yeah, forced. But now, no one will ever know. You've done well, Mr. Rooter. You did something awful, but you covered your tracks. It's done. The last transcript that shows I did a semester of Christian school.
Uncover evidence of the proudest plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Tee up at the 2026 Golf-a-thon presented by Popeye Supplements June 19th at Rundle Park, supporting the University Hospital Foundation. Golf all day long for $250, including a cart and food. GoTrackSocialClub.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
There's one game that kicks off summer, June 20th at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. The Elks home opener, Elks Alouettes, presented by James H. Brown, Alberta Injury Lawyers. Lock in your tickets now at goelks.com/tickets. Our city, our year.
Get ready, outdoor enthusiasts, for the Kalmar Gun Show. Head to the Kalmar Hockey Arena Friday 3 till 8, Saturday 10 till 6, Sunday 10 till 3 for the premier event to buy, sell, and trade the best in hunting and sporting gear. Visit huntmaniashows.com.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 1010 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne. I'm Josh Fenwick with you here, along with our co-host, David Schlemko, for Cougar Paint and Collision, where family service and pride have earned customer trust and for decades. Check them out at cougarcollision.com. Well, we've been saying we're going to talk about it for about half an hour here, but so Darnell Nurse, I guess technically requested a trade after the Oilers forced his hand. That's a simple fact.
So how do they force his hand?
Well, they would force his hand by saying, okay, next year you got 10 teams on the list next year. So we're going to trade you next year no matter what.
Okay.
Right now, give us 4 or 5 teams and maybe we'll see if we can facilitate or accommodate you. Other thing is, Darnell, you are probably, in our mind, you're not on the second pair anymore. We're going to go with Jake Wallman.
That was said.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but I mean, and all the other crap that Darnell has put up with from fans, media, the whole bit. So maybe it's time for him, as you said, like a new start, a fresh start.
Yeah, fair.
But
I guess what I'm wondering is why now, right? Like I feel like this has been kind of piling up on
because
them
they want
for
the cap space.
a couple of years now.
Oh, it's been going on for a long time,
right? Like, was it? And they're talking about which Stanley Cup final were they going to health bomb him in? That was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
so that was the year they went to 7.
Yeah.
So, like for me, why wasn't that
the
moment where you were like, hey, like maybe I'm not part of the future here? And I mean, just looking at it through the lens of an Oilers fan, that's a lot of money they could have played with. Maybe that summer looks a lot different. You can get back to the Cup final and maybe it puts you over the hump. So for me, just the timing's a little bit weird.
Well, I don't think he wanted to run it back and try to win a cup here with his buddies.
Yeah, true. So that's fair enough. I get that.
And then it gets to the point where he thinks it's better for him and his family, for one thing.
And he has every right to do that.
So, and again, they came to him,
Yep.
So again, they're coming, this, it's not just like this was leaked out again that, there's this possibility. So I think that probably pissed him off.
Okay, so I guess I was more under the impression that Darnell Nurse went to the Oilers.
Not before he was being.
And so it was pretty much the writing was on the wall before he officially requested a trade.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that changes my opinion on everything. That makes me think that, why didn't the Oilers do this 2 years ago?
Because at that point, there was probably a feeling that Darnell would have said, just stick it. I got a no move, and you gave me the no move. You got a couple more years left to see if they can win here. So that would have been his thought process.
What if they would have healthy scratched him in the Cup final?
I don't know.
Think that would
I don't even know.
things?
Like Speck was the one that brought that up, and I don't know where all that and how it came out at that point. To be honest with you, and I don't even remember who was the guy that was going to go in for him. Do you, Duke? Oh, Duke's he just sat down, so doesn't know.
Oh, it's all good. I think. Obviously, I'm not the biggest fan of Darnell Nurse's game, but that doesn't mean that he's not a really good NHL hockey player.
Yeah.
Right? I do think he can be a top 4 guy somewhere. Obviously, it's not here anymore. Just the frustrating thing with Nurse for me is he has all the tools. He has all the tools. You just can't seem to put him in the toolbox. I would think that and you've seen him do it for stretches, for long stretches. When he's at his best, he is simple, he's hard, he's mean, he's just a nightmare to play against. And for whatever reason, he just can't seem to put that together consistently.
I told you many times, I just want him to be so mean and tough to play against. I would say, okay, all those other things that are problems, whether it be positional play, etc., awareness, I would probably look the other way on that a lot more if you were such an SOB to play against.
100% agree.
So I think there's still a real good player in there. I really do. And I think the Oilers are going to miss him more than they think.
I do. I agree with that as well. I think you got to go out and get someone that's going to stick up for guys, someone that's going to make guys think twice. Because Darnell, he doesn't go out looking for it, but he's tough.
Absolutely.
He can throw.
Yeah.
And I don't think Trent Frederick is quite on the same level of guys worried about taking liberties.
So they don't really have anyone after Frederick. There's playoffs is different. Carolina didn't have that.
Yeah.
What does Carolina have on the back end that would scare you? Nothing.
Keishan, maybe. He got some big hits.
Scare you.
They're team tough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but it's different toughness.
Yeah, everyone plays the same way there.
It's a different toughness.
Yeah.
833-401-1440. We'll get to some of your texts when we come back and have our quick little chat with Jordan Hall from NBCS. We're still going to give away a couple tickets to the Edmonton Elks home game as well. We'll do that at 10:40 as well. Plus, we got to do our picks for the golf as well. Are we doing that, Duke, or what the hell's going on?
we can start because
who picks first?
Josh.
Oh, really?
And
so
then
you can
Eddie
lose.
texted in. He might be listening.
Oh, really? You can lose, not buy the meal, and then get first pick. Is that the new rules here?
I guess.
Look at the look at that. Hey, a finger too from Josh.
Kev, I don't know if you know, we're living in a society now where you just get rewarded just for participating.
Oh, attaboy.
And so Josh has not yet had to pay the piper.
You won't take Hovland again first overall.
Are you going to take Hovland?
Just finish top. What did he finish? Top 5 this week?
He'll take
Canadian
Scheffler.
Open.
He's going to take Scheffler. We all know that. Jordan Hall when we come back. Kevin Karius, David Schlemko, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
At Cougar Paint and Collision, caring family touches go the extra mile.
I remember specifically there was a pretty old lady near the end of her driving career, and she came in and she was just distraught. She sat down, and within 5 minutes, she had a cup of coffee. She had a donut. A lot of shops don't offer things like that. We realize how traumatic a vehicle accident can be. The little family touches like an animal or a coffee or a donut, they really go the distance.
Cougar Paint and Collision, our family helping your family.
It's time to hit the greens. Elevate your golf game with Country Club Tour Golf Academy. No matter your experience, our PGA of Canada teaching pros are here to help. Enjoy lessons year-round between our 7 CCT golf courses and 2 state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Choose the location convenient for you. We offer private lessons, group lessons, expert club fittings, and junior camps. Visit our website to learn more and get ready to take your game to the next level. Booking is easy. Go to countryclubtour.com/golf academy and schedule your lesson today.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans, stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the man van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved heavy truck auction is this Thursday at 9 a.m. featuring tandem, triaxle, and single-axle trucks, including tractors, decks, dumps, man lifts, vacs, pickers, and service trucks. Info at maauctions.com.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care, exploring Edmonton from the Science Center to Horlock Park. I see your lawns and cringe a little. Weeds are here. And you've got them, Edmonton. Take your lawn back with our guaranteed lawn care programs and unlimited weed control.
Green Drop has been Canada's lawn expert since 1979. And they're in your community, keeping your yard looking beautiful with affordable lawn care packages that include fertilizer, weed control, drought fighter, and more. Visit greendrop.com.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved industrial auction is this Friday at 9 a.m. featuring a large selection of 2020 to 2014 Caterpillar, John Deere, and Volvo articulated dump trucks. Info at maauctions.com.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
In Edmonton, just before we hook up with Jordan Hall from NBCS. Hey, if you'd like to go to the Edmonton Elks home game on Saturday night, we got a couple tickets for you. All you do is tune in to Sports 1440, and you could win tickets to every game. A chance to win 2 tickets for all the home games this season. All you have to do is text ELKS, so ELKS, to 833-401-1440, and you will win tickets to Saturday's home game against the Montreal Alouettes. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff. Remember, they're going to be honoring Dwayne Mandrusic at halftime for over a half century with the football club. So text ELKS right now, 833-401-1440, and you can go, if we pick you or you are selected, to the game on Saturday afternoon. Should be a rockin' good time. Text 833-401-1440. The rig says, could Colton Dock step into that role? We're talking about, Nurse is gone. That's, you're going to lose some toughness. Well, yes, I think a little bit for sure.
I mean, definitely, like toughness wise. Yeah. I don't think he can kind of hang in that heavyweight category that Nurse can.
The other thing, as I always said, and you would, I think, agree this too, and you got a partner, when you were with Dylan, right? It's a big difference when you have that deterrent on the back end.
Oh, yeah.
Because when does most of the stuff happen? Where does it happen? In front of your net, right? So if you got your defenseman there that's a little more prone to getting into that kind of involvement, that helps a lot. So,
yeah, good point.
Doc and Frederick, that happens in front of the opposition net. So,
yeah. I mean, I would put Doc more into that like middleweight category with Frederick. I think he's not that big, is he?
Who's that?
Doc?
Like Doc's
6'1",
big. Yeah,
6'2"?
No, Doc's a 6'3"er.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a 6'3"er, and he's still a young guy.
Maybe he can hang with the heavies. Maybe I'm wrong.
All right, we've got Jordan Hall from NBCS on the show. Good morning, Jordan. You're with Kevin Karius and the former NHLer David Schlemko. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 as always. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. How you guys doing?
Great up here. We're just waiting for a coach. That's all we're waiting for up here.
Yeah.
Other than that, Jordan, all good.
Gotta love the off season this time of year when there's a coaching search. It's kind of a wait and see game.
Yeah. Hey, what did you make of the trade that the Flyers and Leafs made yesterday? Let's start with that, Jordan. And for the most part, the reaction has been, Philadelphia came up looking pretty good here.
I thought they did too. They really needed to improve their backup goaltending position. That was an area that Flyers needed to address. They just didn't get enough out of Samuel Ersson over the last couple of seasons. This season, he had the worst save percentage of his career. The previous season, he was their number one, and the Flyers had the worst save percentage in the league. So they just didn't get enough out of Ersson. He had a nice start to his career. He was probably best in a tandem role when Carter Hart was still here. But ever since then, just didn't really cut it for them. So they needed to address that area, and I think they did it in a nice way. They don't have to give up a third-round pick. They gave up a defenseman in Emil Andre, who I thought still had some promise. But I think you have to give up to get something. And I think they really like that Joseph Wall gives them a chance to spell Dan Vladar from time to time. Dan Vladar had his biggest workload by far in his career this season, went through 2 rounds of the playoffs. So I think they want to make sure he's as fresh as possible for hopefully, I think in Philadelphia, another playoff run. So I thought the Flyers made out pretty well.
Yeah, I love this trade for the Flyers. Andre, he's a nice little puck mover. But I guess they also have Drysdale and York who are on the smaller side. So I don't mind that Benoit. A lot of value at 1.3 for a third pairing D. What do you think? How much action do you think Wool sees after Vladar had such a good year?
From Joseph Wall?
Yeah.
Yes. Vladar, I think, played 52 games this past season. His previous career high was 30. So that was way over than what he was used to. I could see it being something like a 50-30 split. And ideally, maybe Wall goes on some really good runs and allows Vladar to sit even more. I think the Flyers would be happy with something in the 50-30 range. And then maybe even Wall can steal some more starts and give them a really good stretch of play. And last season, the Flyers, their roughest stretch was right before the Olympic break. They lost 12 of 15 games, and that coincided with Vladar being hurt. And then when Ersson had to play a lot, he struggled. And the Flyers, Vladar came back. He wasn't totally himself yet. I think he was still coming off the injury. And that really put them in a tough spot where they had to win a lot of huge games down the stretch just to get in. I think they would like to avoid a stretch like that where Joseph Wall can come in and be relied upon.
Jordan Hall, NBCS, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show with David Schlemko. So a lot of rumors floating around about Darnell Nurse and possible landing spots. Do you see, Jordan, a possible landing spot being the Philadelphia Flyers? And the name that always gets popped up is Rasmus Ristolainen because he's in his final year of his contract. Would the Philadelphia Flyers, Jordan, be interested in the acquisition of Darnell Nurse?
I think they certainly would be interested. I don't know if they would be gung-ho about it. I think the Oilers would have to eat some money on that contract. And I don't think the Flyers want to give up any prime assets like a first-round pick or high-round picks. But Nurse, I know, has had some decent years in Edmonton. I wonder, and I'm curious for your guys' thoughts because you're a lot closer to him than I am. I feel like his best years were maybe inflated a little bit by the Connor McDavids and the Leon Draisaitl's in terms of offensive production. But I'm not totally sold on Nurse being a fit here, but I understand if the Flyers are interested and they want to kick the tires on it, why not?
Well, I could tell you that, his numbers offensively, when you talk about his numbers offensively, those were before, the evolution of Evan Bouchard. And he's been taking a lot of that. And then when he got partnered up with Matthias Ekholm, that's where Darnell's numbers offensively, when you look at pure stats and also playing in the second pair behind Ekholm and behind Bouchard. So that's the difference there that I could tell you, Jordan. And Flemmer, you might know as well weigh in too.
Yeah, I don't think he has elite offensive instincts. He's just a world-class skater who can support the rush well, and he's got a hard shot.
So, when I look at it, you mentioned, Jordan, salary retention here from an Oilers standpoint. I don't know what kind of piece to the puzzle that the Oilers could acquire. Maybe Ristolainen's not available. Don't know. Yeah. But that's the name that always keeps surfacing. And even at the deadline last year, because when the Oilers were sniffing around Connor Murphy, Ristolainen's name kept getting brought up here because of a right-handed shot. And that was only because at that point, Philadelphia, well, as you know, wasn't really, they were in the playoff picture, but they weren't, if you know what I mean.
No, for sure. Danny Briere faced a little bit of heat from the fan base here when they held on to Ristolainen because they didn't look like they were going to be a playoff team. And a lot of people, when they hear rebuild, they want to see some action behind it. And he held on to him. They've held him in really high regard. It paid off last season. Obviously, they make a playoff run, and Ristolainen was a big part of it. I mean, he's a top pair righty shot defenseman for them who had a great Olympics, and then he had a really effective Stanley Cup playoffs. But time is ticking. He's now a rental. That was kind of Briere's message when they didn't trade him, was that he's not a rental. We have another year of Ristolainen. But now this would be the final summer before his contract year, and then the trade deadline will be the final trade deadline before he can test the market and maybe walk away from Philadelphia. So I do think the pressure's on a little bit more on the Ristolainen front, but I will say from all accounts, from what I've heard, they're going to hold him in high regard. Like, they are going to want a really, really big package in return, especially now that Ristolainen's healthy and coming off his first playoff run of his career, and it was a really good one.
Yeah, he's got some value for sure. Well, let's talk about a guy that isn't going anywhere for sure. Porter Martone had just an unbelievable start to his career. To quote John LeClaire, he said, "I don't think this was a fluke at all." Do you think he'll just keep building off of what he started last year? Do you see any sophomore slump? What do you think?
I don't see a sophomore slump, and I know that's a real thing in hockey. We saw it with Matvei Mishkov here. It can happen. I don't see it just because he's such a good kid and he works so hard. And that's not to say other players don't, in terms of Matvei Mishkov and some of the Flyers young players, but Martone just really, he's got such a good head on his shoulders. He says all the right things. And I think this is just going to drive him even more. And the Flyers just love his mental makeup, the way he fits in. No one envisioned him doing what he did when he came here. The Flyers were even wondering, like, gosh, do we throw him in the lineup or do we not? We're on a pretty good run here. Is it fair to put in a 19-year-old kid in this spot? They did, and he looked like one of their best forwards. So, yeah, we chatted with John LeClaire the other day, who watched him a lot at Michigan State, and he was really impressed by Martone, and he did not see this coming, him having this much of an impact early. I think the sky's the limit for Martone, just with his size, his shot, the way he releases it so quickly. And the Flyers need more shooters here. They've had a goal-scoring problem and guys that are a little too pass first. It's okay to have some of those players, but you eventually need guys that are going to want and be willing to shoot the puck. And Martone really showed no hesitation there. He liked to shoot the puck, and they're going to need more of that.
Is that something that you think Danny Briere is looking at in the draft, or is that more something you build out of free agency?
A little bit of both. I do think last year they looked for more players with size in the draft. They drafted a lot of big kids with some upside offensively, the kids that can maybe shoot the puck a little bit more, want to shoot the puck. They addressed it in Tyson Forster's draft. Forster's a shoot-first guy. They really liked his shot coming out of that 2020 draft. So now Forster and Martone are in the picture, guys that are open to shooting the puck. I do think they could address it more in the draft, but they only have 4 picks this summer as of right now. So not a lot of picks. It could be something that he looks to address in the offseason, whether it's free agency or via trade. We've seen him be very quick to make trades. He hasn't shied away from making a trade. Last year they got Trevor Zegras, and he ended up being a really good center for them, a little bit on the wing as well. And then this summer, they've already made a trade to address their goaltending position. I wouldn't rule anything out with Danny Briere.
Right. Jordan Hall with us, NBCS, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show with David Schlemko. Another young player that I wanted to discuss with you and see what you think his trajectory is with this organization is Oliver Bonk, who came up and had a game, and I think one game in the playoffs too. Is he like a 50-50 guy next year with Lehigh Valley? And then Philly, is he close to being everyday NHLer? Where's he at, do you think?
I think 50-50, Kevin, is a good way to put it. It's funny. I thought he was maybe a little further away until they actually played him in the elimination game against the Hurricanes. That was a really bold move. He had played just one NHL game, and Rick Tocchet threw him in there for a do-or-die game in Philadelphia, and he held his own. And that told me that they were pretty high on him, that they felt comfortable enough to put him in a game of that magnitude. I think they really like Bonk. He's been a little overshadowed here because he was drafted in the Matvei Mishkov draft in the first round. So everyone was a buzz about Mishkov, and then Bonk was kind of the guy that everyone forgot about. But this is a first-round ready-shot defenseman that I think they are very high on. And every time I watch him, he just does the little things to keep the puck out of his net. He's not super flashy offensively. He's got a nice shot. I think there's upside there. And he's not lightning quick, but he just does the right things to defend. And you need those guys. So I think he's got an outside shot to make the team in camp. And if not, he'll be one of their first call-ups from Lehigh Valley.
Mm-hmm. What about David Jiricek? Now, here's another right-handed shot D, young guy. Was drafted pretty high, if I'm not mistaken. Just hasn't really panned out yet. What are the Flyers thinking on him?
They're excited about him, and I think they feel like they're going to be patient with him. I think they believe he was maybe rushed to the NHL, and they saw that when they acquired Jamie Drysdale. This was a kid that played in the NHL very early, and as you know, David Schlemko as at a position that's really hard to play. So I think they feel like Drysdale maybe got rushed a little bit, and they were willing to work with him. And over about 2 years of really a lot of persistent work, he's become a nice player for them. I think they feel the same about Jiricek, that he came to the NHL a little early. Can they be patient with him and work with him and then get him in there when it's right? And again, big righty shot, as you said. The interesting thing is he's no longer waivers exempt, I believe. So the Flyers are in a bit of a situation there where he might have to make the team out of camp. I don't know if they'd be able to sneak him through waivers to Lehigh Valley. So he might have to be their extra defenseman or maybe a guy that jumps into their lineup.
Yeah. And you mentioned him, Matvei Michkov. So is there a future here between Michkov and this organization? Because, I mean, for a guy that, he's been in the league 2 years, as you know, and he's a 20-goal man twice. I mean, there's a lot more here, man. This guy could be a 40-goal man here.
I agree. Like it's so funny that you mentioned that because he had a down year this year, and there was so much buzz about Rick Tocchet, Matvei Michkov, and Michkov not having the best offseason before coming into camp. If his floor is 20 goals and 51 points, that's a heck of a floor at 20 years old, coming from Russia, just his second year. And the most promising thing to me was how comfortable he looked later in the season, just being around his teammates with the English language. In the locker room, he was saying hello more. How are you? We had talked to Rick Tocchet. He said he was connecting more with his young teammates, hanging out with them more. And then he said he was more interactive in meetings too. Team meetings. He was stepping up. He was talking. He was learning, grasping things a little bit more. So I just think in year 2 coming from Russia, he looked way more comfortable, and that's really promising. So I think the Flyers are still really high on Matvei Michkov. They tried to downplay the drama this year. I think fans got caught up in it a little bit too because they like this kid so much. They think he's the next star, and Philly loves a star. They've been craving for one. So I think everything's fine with Matvei Michkov here. And Rick Tocchet and I thought Michkov, I thought they grew together down the stretch. Things got better. They weren't perfect early, but they got better.
Hey, Jordan, thanks so much for this. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the quick off season, man. But we got between the draft and then free agency, it's going to be busy for a couple of weeks. As always, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. Great to see you.
Yeah, Jordan Hall, NBCS, covers the Philadelphia Flyers. Michkov. So down year as a 20-year-old, 20 goals,
Russian.
21, whatever it is. Yeah. I mean, this guy, he
still probably barely speaks the language.
Yeah. As long as things can stay, and I agree that things got better between him and Rick Tocchet as the year went on, later in the year. But I think that there's a player there that people are going to go, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. He's 20 years old. He came to camp out of shape. He's still figuring it out.
Like, I think he's a 40-goal guy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not next year, but the year after. I think he's that close.
He will be.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and David Schlemko on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Our new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more. Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip?
Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Nissan breaking through the defense. Look at the control. What a move. What a finish. Kicks has done it again.
Nissan Kicks is the 2026 Best Buy winner from Consumer Guide Automotive for 5 years in a row. The Score with Nissan event is on, and you can score by financing a 2026 Nissan Kicks S for 0% for 36 months, or get up to $3,000 cash purchase bonus on other Kicks models. Conditions apply. Visit Nissan.ca for details.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Cougar Creek Golf Resort is only minutes from Edmonton, so it's incredibly easy to fit in the perfect summer game anytime. Enjoy our championship-length golf course, surrounded by trees and rolling terrain. Book a tee time today. Go to cougarcreekgolf.com.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 1040 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and David Schlemko with you here on Sports 1440. You know, we had that about Maverick Bourque, Duke, and there's no question in my mind he's in that second tier. And I was just looking at a few things, and not comparables, but if you look at, you know, what Dylan Holloway did before his offer sheet and what Maverick Bourque has done, he is in the Broberg tier. Maverick Bourque all day long, Schlemmer. I mean, he's broken out already with a 20-goal season. You know, Dylan Holloway had not even come close to that.
Yeah.
Nothing close. Maybe down the road, as you say, you know, Holloway is a different type of player than Bourque.
Right.
And has...
I'm just saying, ceiling-wise, I don't think that Bourque is going to get a whole lot better, and Holloway did. Personally, could be.
I mean, Holloway the last 2 seasons you can't argue. 26 goals, 22 goals.
And he was hurt the 22-goal season.
Yeah, what did he play? Well, last year he had 22 goals, played 59 games. Maverick Bourque this year played all 82 games, had 20 goals, 21. You know, so they're the same draft
a really
year.
Good team too.
Yeah, same draft year, same round. I mean, Holloway was 14, 15, Bourque's at 30.
Yeah,
but I just think with. Again, now we're talking 2 years later for a potential offer sheet. He's in that tier, the Broberg tier.
You
all
think
day. Yeah,
someone will do it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the cost of a second-round pick, that I think that's an easy choice. Yeah. To be really honest, I gotta wonder if a team is really trying to put the screws to him if they actually jump up to the next. All of a sudden, the compensation becomes a lot tougher to stomach at a first and a third. But I just think at 4 point. Was it 4 point, just under 4.6?
4.7, dude.
4.7.
Yeah.
I think that is actually pretty easy for Dallas to match.
Yeah. So
for a 20-goal scorer that is going to play in your middle six.
So go to your
hopefully the next 10 years.
Go to your third tier.
What's the compensation for that?
First and a third.
Yeah.
That's where the decision for a team to offer him that much, I think, gets more complicated. It's not the money. I think he's worth like a $5 million AAV.
Yeah.
But would you trade a first and a third round pick to get Maverick Bourque?
Well, that's the thing. So that's what I'm saying. So he'll go at the top end of tier 2 Duke.
But then I think at that point, I actually think you're doing the Stars a favor. I think you're doing I think they would match that very quickly.
But then how high are you going over 4.7 then? See, that's the thing.
What's the going rate for a middle six forward?
Are you signing Jason Roberts?
And that's why I look at Bourque as like it would need a team willing to take the risk of, like I said, a first and a third type compensation, because at 4.7, I think they match and then figure it out get Lyubushkin's contract off, figure out the Sagan thing, obviously, which they're going to have to do some of that regardless just to keep Robertson. But I think Jim Nill's a very good general manager, and he will make the moves necessary to keep the guys he wants in the fold.
So do you want to do these picks for the U.S. Open right now, Duke?
We sure can.
Okay. Now, I believe Josh Fenwick finished last in the PGA Championship.
I believe.
Is that correct, or are my stats
No,
wrong?
that is correct. I have the
Oh,
score
yeah,
sheet,
okay.
the spreadsheet, excuse me, up here in front of me. And yes, Josh lost. Vic Hovland did not make the cut.
What happened?
At the PGA Championship?
Vic Hovland crapped the bet. That's what
Okay.
happened.
So Josh has the number 1 pick overall. And again, our good friends at Szechuan Castle. Well, we have to get the PGA visit first. We'll see what happens here with the U.S. Open. So, Josh, I mean, I know you're going.
Yes, I will be taking very happily Scotty Scheffler.
What if he gets arrested? Holy cow.
If he gets arrested, I think my pick should be bunk. It shouldn't count.
No, it's the way it
If he
goes.
gets arrested before the tournament starts in
He still
18
played last
hours.
time.
Yeah. Did he ever return?
He didn't get back to me. So
Okay.
unfortunately, Laddie will be out. And at least now he can't complain moving forward that we didn't include him. Maybe we can try again in the Open Championship. That might be more Laddie's speed. It's Euro.
Yeah, Euro
obviously.
style.
So, and I do want to just for our listeners that keep tabs on this with us. We instituted the rule that you can't pick a player that you've already picked.
That you've already picked.
So that would eliminate a lot of the big names off for each of us, respectively. Like Josh took Xander Schauffele at the Masters. Hovland, he can't take either of those guys. It's now Eddie's pick. He previously made some interesting choices. Colin Morikawa at the PGA was a little unaware of maybe some injury troubles he might be going through. He did go to former champion Hideki Matsuyama at Augusta, but he has informed me that he will be taking Xander Schauffele
Really?
second overall.
Oh, what a loser.
That's because you wanted Xander, didn't
Have
you?
another boiled egg.
That's a safe bet.
So that would now bring it to me. There's some good, like big names that are still available, but I'm gonna follow one of the leads that our buddy Keith Stewart put out there. It served me well enough last time. Cam Young didn't win or anything, but he did not finish. Well, he made the cut, so that was good enough. I'm gonna go with Matt Fitzpatrick.
I knew you would.
Matt Fitzpatrick. That's a good pick.
I like another guy still on the board. I'll never pick Rory.
Why?
I think I don't like
maybe
Rory.
Schlemmer's going that way.
I think Rory.
I'm
Slemmer
not
says he's going off the
Rory.
board.
I'm gonna take. I think this is gonna come down to putting. Looking at these greens, so I'm gonna take a great putter in Cam Smith.
Cam Smith,
the Aussie.
Yeah,
I love Cam Smith.
Cam Smith. Wow. It'd be nice if Schlemmer had to buy it the one Castle.
Almost had to if it wasn't for Victor Hovland Sunday comeback.
Yeah, that was bunk. So that will bring it to SKS. He hasn't texted me back. I don't know if he's listening. So you might have to send your
shocked.
text in.
Okay.
He'll probably come
So
running
there's just
in
6
here.
of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe if Vladdy wants to come in.
I'll send Sean a message. If he gets back to me before the end of the show, we could wrap it up. Otherwise, Kevin's will need to come in via text later, and we can let everyone know tomorrow on the show.
SKS will be running
is,
around that corner in 1 minute.
Cam Smith, what are his odds to win here? Do you know?
Not sure. Probably not good.
He doesn't have to win though, right?
No, well, just whatever.
Well, just curiosity. Let me see.
10,000 plus 10,000. I got him.
Well, that's pretty good.
Schlemmer, thanks for the
worth a sprinkle.
Thanks a lot, buddy. This is going to be good.
Oh, you're gonna see, boys.
He's in the same
He's gonna
area
have a
as
weekend.
Alex Fitzpatrick, Christopher Wrighton,
Yeah.
Who I think has won it
He
previously.
just won a few weeks ago.
Harris English, Adam Scott, Aaron Rye, just ahead of Cam
Wow,
Smith
Aaron
on
Rye,
the
another-
awards board. Nick Hogard,
Hey,
Ryan
there's a few
Gerard.
good picks in there.
They're all out there.
Brandon says Cam Smith's a great win player.
Is
Thanks
he?
in, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Rich got our tickets. Thanks, Rich, for coming in here for our 2 tickets to the Elks in Montreal. Rich is going to the game. Appreciate it. So we'll await SKS. So the guy sends 8,000 texts, group texts.
Yeah.
And then when we do the draft, he doesn't pay attention.
I'm shocked
And
right now.
he brought this up, and because he wants a picture of you with your
we got to do
flag
the flag.
that you got for hitting your hole in one at Leduc Golf and Country Club. But he says he's like,
See
oh,
that,
I'm
Schlemmer?
not in today. Shocker.
Yeah, they're never in
And
sales.
I'm not in today, so he wants us to take this picture, I assume, so you can probably get it blown up and put in your
Hey, that's pretty sweet.
in your study, Kevin. You'll have an oil painting of you holding this flag.
I can't believe that's not in a frame already.
Well, I threw the ball. I threw the card away, and I lost the ball 4 holes later.
So that's the only memento he has of
Oh
it.
my God! Yeah. Well, there's a plaque now on hole 4. Harley Sukin, my buddy Craig Sukin, sent a picture in from the plaque.
They made you a plaque?
Well, they put a little plaque on the like a post.
Oh,
you
at
know,
the
with
hole.
all the win hole-in-oneers.
That's pretty cool.
You know, it's June 17th, Duke. You know what that's the O.J. Simpson day, right? In 94. We were trying to think of all, just off the top, by not looking, all the things that happened on that day. So it's game 5 of the NBA final. So they were going back and forth. You don't remember the show.
No.
But, so the O.J. chase, right? The game 5 of the NBA final was going on, and NBC kept cutting back and forth to the chase to the final.
And then they eventually did it picture in picture.
Yeah.
They put the basketball game, the NBA finals, in the small box and the OJ chase on the primary screen.
So I was working in Prince Albert that night, and I couldn't believe, I remember I left my buddy Bob Krawczyk because I had Friday, Saturdays off. Said, see you later. I'm gone. It was like 4 p.m. He goes, what do you mean you're gone? I said, I got a few things to do. He goes, okay, so we got the OJ chase. Game 6 of the NBA final. The Rangers had their Stanley Cup parade. Arnold Palmer played his last U.S. Open. Ken Griffey Jr. was hitting 30 home runs or 31 before, not long after that, baseball went on strike. They missed the World Series.
So there's a couple stories you could have been working on.
World Cup of Soccer got underway in Chicago. Started, Oprah was there. The balloons are flying.
He said, have a good weekend.
Yeah. I'll see you on Sunday. Bobby. Old Bobby Krawczyk. Yeah. So there was and there's more than that too. There's a couple other things I can't even remember, but everything was all the OJ thing, and then all hell broke loose.
I was just a 7-year-old kid.
7-year-old kid. Did you watch any of that stuff when you got older?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of the OJ kind of documentaries and stuff. Yeah.
Like there's so many documentary series, and then even a docu-series that is, with people playing the parts.
Yeah.
Marsha Clark and everyone else. The thing is, back then the Kardashians were they were a big part of the families because they were friends. All the little girls.
So they got famous.
After, I guess. I don't know. What's that sound there, Duke, from?
Well, I think the reason Kim Kardashian got extra famous, another reason.
Can't talk about that on the radio.
Well, it's out there.
How about my buddy Blair just loves greasing me on he hangs on every word that I say, Schlemmer.
It's all right.
Hey, KK, the Oilers just need to get another forward back, for Nurse. After all, they have the upstart Alex Regula that can fill the void. So all I said was that Alex Regula will be next year, he could be in the running for a 6th defenseman. That's been the plan for this guy. I don't know if he'll ever be able to do it.
I think he will.
Yeah, you think? Oh, hey, Blair, did you hear that?
I'm a big Regula fan.
Okay, wake up, Blair. Wake up. I'm not saying Alec Regula is, a top 4 pairing guy.
I think it could be.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Top 4, you think?
I think he could be, yeah.
Listen, Blair. Now you text Schlemmer now, Blair. See what he thinks. But I think that was the game plan, when they signed him to a 2-year contract. He's making league minimum, basically, $1 million. I'm not saying again, he's got to fight, for everything he's going to get next year.
He's got to get a little more edge to his game. Yeah. He's got to put the puck in some better places. He's got a lot of poise, but he kind of hangs on to it a little too much. But you can't teach that poise. I think that he will develop into a very good defenseman.
Wow. Schlemmer, wow. I can't believe it. This Blair guy is going to go. Yeah, I know what his next text is going to be. He said, how much you paying Schlemmer to say that?
I've been a Regula fan all year.
Oh, man. Gerhardt, the mayor of Withrow. I don't know if that's true, Duke, or whatever it is. He's texting hands-free. He says, this is Gerhardt is wondering about salary applications, wondering about Darnell Nurse for Morgan Riley. Well, again, I guess it was the last couple of days, Riley's saying, I don't want to go anywhere because he's got the full trade, no movement. Same with Nurse. And I don't think Nurse would want to go to Toronto or Montreal or Van or.
I mean, probably not after what he's put up with here.
Yeah. I don't know.
Riley straight up for Nurse. I don't know if Toronto's going for that.
Well, I don't know if the Oilers want to go for it either.
I would.
Why? Because it's a left shot defenseman. So you got, again, think about what you're going to do here. Is Riley on your second pair, Wallman on your third then?
Yep. Easily.
It'd be nice if Wallman could play the other side like we talked about. Get that big bomb going.
We tried.
Hey, Schlemmer, so you're back golfing now, full bore?
You bet.
You can get 18 holes in and no problems?
Yeah. Shot 76 the other day.
What? Come on now.
5 birdies, still shot 4 over. So some good, some bad.
Wow. Travis says, any FIFA talk, boys, off to Vancouver tomorrow for a day trip to the game. Wow, good for you, Travis. Bouncing off the walls, excited about it. We talked about it. He's going for a day trip to the game.
To Vancouver.
He's going to go see Canada.
Wow.
We'll talk about it a lot more tomorrow, Travis, but we talked about the soccer for the first 15 minutes. So everything that happened last night with Lionel Messi scoring the hat trick and now 16 goals in World Cup competition, the time with Miroslav Klose from Germany, and then to see what happened before with Kylian Mbappe scoring to move ahead of both Pele and Messi in the standings for all-time goals, and then Messi comes back and scores 3.
Gets a hattie.
Unreal.
Sean K. Smith is in with his pick.
Okay. Well, I don't have time right now. We got to close the show.
Well, okay, then I guess you'll get the benefit of texting later, but SKS is in with Sam Burns.
Burnsy.
It's a good pick.
Really?
And now I know SKS's full name.
Sean K.
And you know what he
Smith.
does here now.
Sean K. Smith.
I will go with probably a pretty good win player. And a guy that's coming on. He hasn't won on the PGA Tour yet, but I'm going to go with Tommy Fleetwood.
It's a good pick.
I considered him.
I like Tommy.
I'll go
Trying his
Tommy
hardest.
Fleetwood. Cameron Young I was looking at him too, maybe. Even Russell Henley. You know that my flyer, I thought you were going to go like flyer. Chris Goddard.
Got her up
somehow. But I don't think he's ready yet.
I think he's a little too steep. It's going to be a little too spinny on those greens.
Ooh, a little spinny. Great show, Slemmer. We'll see you back next Wednesday, big guy. Good
Sounds
luck on the
good,
course.
buddy.
Are you going to golf Friday? It's the weekend's not. Yeah, Friday.
Today and Friday.
Attaboy. Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Ross Shep T-Bird.
Connor Halley and the Duke of Delburne at 12 o'clock. The Lowdown with Ellen Mitchell, 2 till 6. Jason Greger drives us home. We've got Blue Jays baseball joined in progress. They are in Boston to take on the Red Sox. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand. High quality promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. That's Fusion with a Z. Hey, thanks everyone for listening. Really appreciate all the great comments on the text line. We could not do the show without you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you back tomorrow morning at 7 bells. Until then, here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
World Cup action today from south of the border in Houston, getting underway as we speak. Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal playing the Democratic Republic of the Congo coming up at 2 o'clock. England against Croatia from Dallas. Action back in Toronto for a 5 o'clock kickoff between Panama and Ghana. And the nightcap, 8 o'clock in Mexico City, Uzbekistan facing Colombia. In case you missed it, earlier on this morning, Toronto Maple Leafs naming Jim Hiller as the team's next head coach. Hiller takes over after parts of 3 seasons in Los Angeles with the Kings and also returning to Toronto where he was an assistant coach for 4 years under Mike Babcock from 2015 to 2019. In the majors today, Toronto Blue Jays continue their set in Boston against the Red Sox. Max Scherzer expected to start for Toronto. First pitch coming 4:45. Catch that right here on Sports 1440. Joined in progress at the conclusion of the Jason Greger Show. Elsewhere, lots of matinee games, including the Braves and Giants wrapping up a rainout affair yesterday. It'll resume bottom of the second with the Giants leading 3-2. Currently top 2, Reds and Mets are scoreless. Royals and Nats, Marlins and Phillies all set to get underway shortly. And still to come, Dodgers against the Rays and the Yankees hosting the White Sox. Edmonton Riverhawks continue their set in Wenatchee tonight against the Apple Sox. And the Edmonton Stingers on the hardwood at home tonight facing the Montreal Alliance. for a 7 o'clock tip-off at the Edmonton Expo Center. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Fantasy Frenzy program with